Sami's back. He was episode 1, and we've gone a long way since episode 1. I mean, you've grown. I mean, I think you've grown better than I have because...
We're on par. Nope, we're on par. Like, what?
I mean, you've put a lot of stuff out there, though. I mean...
this is episode what?
This is 10.
Yeah.
I mean, no, this is 11. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess I don't measure my own anymore. I don't look at stats. I don't do anything.
I'm so happy.
I'm leaving that alone.
Personal growth right there.
Because remember, I'd look at them YouTube stats, didn't understand the numbers, and going crazy.
I'd be getting all these messages.
You know who does more stat watching now is David. Oh, our episode's doing the best. I'm like, David. I was like, they just love you the last. Maybe that's why. Because he's like, oh the first one I got 17,000 views, and I think the last one he told me, oh, we're at 15,000. We're gonna go past my first one. And I was like, well, I don't know, David. I mean, maybe they like you. I don't know, because it's not me. So I mean, I'm just here to stimulate the conversation.
Right.
But he swears, he's like, he is looking at numbers every day.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure I could text him and go, where the numbers at, and he'll bling instantly respond. Because I'm not. He's busy talking to that client to get that vehicle in, but he was competing with his wife's episode.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I'm like, what, you trying to start some kind of rivalry in the house here? I mean, yeah, sure, mind. But I mean, I know this has grown, but I've just stopped paying attention to it. I want to see some money come now.
Oh, amen.
And I mean, shit, you came in with the shirt that we made, the first actual piece of merchandise that we made. And do you know, I've had so many compliments about it.
Same.
So I'm gonna I have to say, so the picture that I used, I posted it online. I posted it on Facebook. People were like commenting about it. Core shared his to people and stuff like that. So I made that picture one of my dating app profile pictures. You know, I can't chat with anybody. They all just want to talk about the shirt. I love that shirt. So guess what? I'm constantly shamelessly plugging. Well, if you go to intersections.show and click on merch, you can get one. It's freaking great. So if you go to intersections.show, click on merch, you can get one of those shirts. And I don't know, there was another shirt that I wanted to do too, but I can't remember what it was.
I mean, when it hits, you know.
That one was perfect.
This one was perfect.
And
I felt so proud.
Yeah, I mean, and I couldn't. I didn't know how to get that clip of when you said it, so I just made it in the show, and it was sweet. It was sweet. I had two people that actually, you know, they went through the whole episode, and they were like, oh, I know where that shirt comes from now, because they watched it all the way to the end to close out the episode.
Yay.
I mean, I really like when people actually notice that shit.
Right.
And it's isn't it weird when somebody listens to what you've put out?
Yes.
And they verbatim say something like, I actually put out something somebody listened to? Oh my God. It's very weird. And I'm not going to say it's a small world, but you don't know who your audience is.
You really don't. And you don't know how much they care. So those little comments of like, I like this specific thing in your show.
Yeah.
You listened.
Yeah.
You know, you watched.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay, because we ain't doing this to speak in the void.
Well,
shit.
But when you're doing your podcast, are you doing it, do you feel, you know, okay, so it probably turned into something that you're passionate about, probably, because you're spending a lot of effort and a lot of time into it. And I know for me, I put it out there because it's not something that I want to get likes or comments on. I'm just hoping that there's some value in it for like whoever's sitting in that chair. Yes. And I'm hoping that I'm doing a good job of getting to know that person, and so that whoever's watching us gets to know us. And I mean, it's a long form podcast, so I really believe you can get a feel for whoever's there to know if you want to know more about them, or if you want to know if you want to buy anything from them, or if you can trust them. You know. And I mean, Trace, you've been sitting there and you've pretty much watched everybody. I don't think you've missed an episode as far as doing the switching there, right? Yeah, doing the production. So you've been here for everyone. You said you learned things about detailing.
Yeah.
So, but you've watched everybody sit in that chair.
And everybody brings something different.
And they do. And as a person that doesn't know, say, me personally or them personally, and you get to pay attention to what they're saying, do you think I'm giving them that opportunity?
to
get what they are doing, to represent themselves.
Yeah.
Well, except for episode 9, where I almost went off for 4 hours.
Well, you needed that though. That was a long time coming. I mean, you deal with a lot of stupid stuff in the detailing scene here, and your podcast is about detailing, and you're here, and you have more of a. I assume you have a mostly local audience, or kind of.
No, I don't think I have a local audience anymore. When I'm looking at statistics, I think there's 2,500 people that are loyal to go and find the episode on YouTube, and the stats are just saying, it's everywhere in the United States, which is so weird. Going to your podcast, what was that something that you had learned about Buzzsprout whenever you had the state of Utah or something listening to you?
Right. So like, yes, it was like Council Bluffs, Iowa. I'm like, what the fuck is Council Bluffs, Iowa?
And wasn't it after the Mormon episode?
Yes. I was like, so
because we learned about Mormons and where they were, and then we're like,
did this all come from Core?
Is Corey sharing the ally page?
Are you there, Core? It's me. But so I was like, I need to figure this out, because then we switched. Like, you were the one obsessed about stats, but then I became obsessed because I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I want to know, like, because Buzzsprout can break down, and it's very handy with that, everyone listening on Apple, everyone listening on Spotify. I found out I had a huge male audience on Spotify. I was like, didn't expect that. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And constantly, though, I'm like, who the fuck is in Council Bluffs, Iowa? 100 fucking people listened in Council Bluffs, Iowa? I don't think so. 110 people listen? No, we're investigating. And Tim was like, let it go. Sam, let it go.
Let it go. Fuck it.
No.
So now he knew what it was like to be Tim.
Yes, because it doesn't make sense. So I had to send that message right quick to tech support. I was like, Buzzsprout, who is in Council Bluffs, Iowa? I just don't think that's true. Because my Louisiana numbers didn't make sense. Because now I've got people who are quoting the show to me, and their numbers aren't showing as like in New Orleans, and all these other places. And I'm like, wait, what's happening? And the first thing Buzzsprout was like, do you have a Wix site?
Boom.
Yes. Do you have the podcast player on Wix? Yes.
It's Wix.
It's Wix. For whatever reason, anyone who clicks on that podcast player from the website, their data is going to show up as some random place because of whatever bug is in the podcast player. So then I have to so I really need to check my traffic my website traffic separately from my stats traffic.
Yeah, you got to do that with Google Analytics though. Google Analytics will break your website down. So even if it's a Wix site, it won't just take Wix server IPs and stop there. It's going to go to the original, because it's Google. Google can just go find out, where you're sitting, which Starbucks you're sitting at, while you look at something. So no matter what website you go through. So I would just say set up a Google Analytics thing.
Okay.
I mean, you should have a free.
I think I do.
With credits where you can actually get free ads and stuff. Whenever you use like WordPress and stuff like that, you can get freebies to make ads.
I feel like I have that.
You should have an AdSense account. Oh well, no, I don't know, because YouTube monetization, I had to have a AdSense account to get paid through.
I need to check that.
So,
see, I've been so deep into the content that to have to do anything else around it, like even just talk about it, it just takes something I just don't have. I'm like, it's just enough to put the damn thing out and tell you I put it out.
So why? I mean.
Which is a good thing. I'm happy that I have enough content to do that with now.
Yeah, and how much content have you put out now?
I'm on episode. Technically, I'm on episode. What was just released? Upcoming will be 7.
And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't kept up. I've missed 3 episodes.
So I'm trying to think. What's the last one you heard?
The Hurt People.
Okay,
part 2.
That was number 4. Yeah, so if you're 2, so then no, my numbers are right. 7 is the one I haven't really.
I've missed because, I mean, this has taken so much, and it's like social media. what do you do now probably most on social media? You probably post more than you scroll.
Right now, it's just, think about what's happened. The hurricanes, the election, COVID.
Well, I'm just saying,
so it's like,
but when you have a podcast, when you have a business,
yes,
you end up posting and
yes,
not looking at it.
Yes.
And people get mad and they're
yes,
like, what, did you look at this? Did you, even my mom, she's like, you didn't see what I posted? I was like, Mom, I'm not on the feed.
No, I've got enough to put on my social medias.
I'm posting to keep the audience happy, and I barely have time for it, and I don't want to fuck with it.
Yep. Nope.
I mean,
I've devolved into my like work accounts.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on something, it's usually them first.
Yeah.
You know, and if I'm on my personal, it's just to plug the business.
Yes. And or share whoever's been on the podcast. You're getting their name out there, things like that.
Right.
And I mean, it just builds up. And did you think it was going to get to where it is now?
Honestly, no. Because it took a totally different direction. Like, I guess from what I had imagined. Because I was like episode 7 coming out now. Not now, but soon. Because that's what I was recording was the actual interview portion of it last night. But that, like this one, is the first one that honest to God sounds like what I had told you about and what I had planned and written down as this is what my episodes will sound like.
Okay.
Like
originally, before you were like, let me do the musical, let me do this, let me do the silent one.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. That because I was like, I finally had all the pieces to do it. Like I finally had enough people saying yes to me.
Yeah.
To make like I had an interview guest who was a solid guest, and you know how tough that interview guest and finding a good one is.
Child.
Right?
Oh.
Like I was supposed to have had a guest every damn episode. Ain't happening to I have one. I have one.
Yeah.
And then I make up people in my brain. And that's what I've been doing since.
Yeah. I don't know what stops us from having the guests. I mean, I've got a list of 15 people's names, but it's just they're iffy. They don't know if they want to do it. They cancel. They get cold feet. I had one, they had a pimple on the head, didn't want that to get seen. It's like, who cares about your pimple?
Yes.
I got tens of thousands of people now watching each episode, and you want to get your business out, and we're all hurting, so we all trying to get these little breadcrumbs, so come get these breadcrumbs while you can. I mean, that's how I feel.
No, exactly. And then don't take it personally, because it's not even just video like mine. I'm easier. I don't even go to you. Like, I just need you to record shit on your phone and send it to me.
Yeah.
The act of Congress that takes.
And how easy is it? Because how do we communicate?
The same
audio
thing,
clips.
Just the same.
Hey, boop, boop, boop,
that's
boop,
it.
Hey, boop, boop. And that's it.
That's it.
I mean, even Trace is doing it now, too, because we drug him in our group chat, and that's how he responds now.
It's just like walkie-talkie.
Easy.
Yes. I give him, I give them the instructions. Like, you know, at most, all you have to do is find, like, a quiet place, turn off your AC, record 30 seconds of silence in your environment so I can fuck with it later.
Yeah.
And then just talk. Like, here's the questions. Oh, you don't feel comfortable? Let me record myself asking you the questions.
And listen to it and respond.
Yes.
Oh, my God. You can't give it to him easier than that. Your guests should come. They should be lined up.
But do you know, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
But I think people forget. So there's no pressure for a podcast to have a discussion, because what do you do when you sit with your friends? You're having discussions, right? You're going to talk about these things. And it's so easy. Why?
But when you hit that record button.
But when you hit the record button, you lock up. Why?
Why?
Now, I understand if it's live, you know, because you can't edit it or anything like that.
Bingo.
But it's not even live because you're editing it. Just like this one. I don't take a whole lot of out of these. I'm just cutting to get rid of dead time, dead air, or when we take bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Even Trace knows. He's like, you sure you wanted that in? I think the first couple hours, you sure you wanted that in? Yeah, just leave it alone. Let's go. We're rolling.
Right.
That's what I want. It's real talk. I mean, so I don't understand why they don't do yours.
Again, look. I'm like, you lead them to the water. It's like,
and they don't know if the water's good.
Like, this is more live than I will ever be.
Yeah.
You know, like, so last night was my first live, and you know.
Yeah.
Finally, a live interview. So all that to say, like, only now can I like have the security of this, and then the other component, which were all of my little actors and people, you know, saying yes, giving to me like materials on time, like that, like how it works so well with this episode. I'm like, finally. Like I was telling my friend Deanna, my producer, I was like, finally. This is what my show is supposed to sound like this whole time.
But you've had enough practice though, so now you're probably even more comfortable.
It all worked out, yes, because it's like if I had tried to do something like this first, I wouldn't have been able to, because I wouldn't have, like, each episode, which is why I was like gonna go through each one and break it down, like taught me how to do something on like a basic level, so that by the time I got to this one, I'm like, oh shit, okay, I'm no longer upset, because like all that shit came out the ass. Like I was like, wait a minute, I have no, like, this guest canceled, this actor canceled. Okay, what's this episode gonna be? Each one was an adventure.
We gonna wing it, bitch.
We gonna wing it.
But they all were good. All the ones I listened to, I was like, you know what? I'm proud of this cat, because we've been bullshitting in them audio messages for, what was it, just only a couple months, and then we just started making it happen. Well, you started making it happen a little bit later because you were still writing everything down. But as I was talking to you, I was writing my shit down and figuring it out. But I also had all of the skills of editing. I've been doing green screen videos. I've been putting out stuff for these clients to see, and I just needed to piece all of this together and just figure it out. But then I also have been watching so many podcasts. Right. I knew exactly what I wanted, and it was just a matter of make it happen. Right. I'm glad you made it happen, because there's not many people that I sit there and have a discussion with just bullshitting, and the light bulb goes off. Like, and a majority of people let the light bulb go off, and then they let it die. And it's like, why didn't you do anything with it? You don't even know what's going to happen with it. Look how successful yours has been. Guys, we're talking about Sami's podcast, Build a Better Ally, or How to Build a Better Ally. And you can find his podcast at buildabetterally.com. So, and Trace is pointing at the screen, but I'm just telling about him because we don't need to switch the screen yet, because we're going to go through the website shortly. But because we're sitting here talking about it, people are like, oh, what are they doing? Well, this is the podcast we're talking about. And I mean, you can find that it's audio only. It's not video yet, because Sami keeps digging into everything else. He might do video one day. Right.
So look, and we have like similar like backgrounds. Like my whole background was like in half of this, it was in film stuff, like producing, doing.
So you should have been doing this, Sami.
I know.
When did I meet you? What, 2015? Yeah. You should have been doing it then.
So, but I was doing it for other people, and that's fine. And so that was a whole mood. I was like, I had nothing left to give myself until one of my friends this year, in addition to you, was saying, what happens if you just take everything that you've done for everyone else in your life and just do it for yourself? What would that look like?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when you have full control over it to do whatever you want.
Right? I'm the director, executive, the secretary, the vice president. I be voting at all the meetings. I hold all of it, right? Like,
you just ain't formed anything official. Hey, y'all know how much caffeine I've had this morning already? So I'm going to be jitterbox jittery because I've already had my coffee, which I'm using the cup for. And I've already had 2 of these Baja Blasts.
Okay.
So this is number 3.
The third. Okay. Because I was clocking the blue.
I think people don't. I don't think anybody can handle as much caffeine as I've just had. And I'm probably going to yawn shortly after I drink this one.
I mean,
I don't think the caffeine does anything. It tastes so fucking good, though. This is like ambrosia. And I've been dying for these. I've had to scour Amazon to get the last little remnants of these drinks that are limited.
Seasonal.
Well, it's not seasonal. It's Taco Bell exclusive. And they don't bottle this.
I talked to somebody that works at Pepsi. When they do the runs of the cans, that's seasonal. Taco Bell does have it, but they do it seasonally. So
to let them sell.
So I'm letting you know. So in the future, when they come back, stock up.
Well, Acadiana Bottling's letting me down. So they said we're not getting Livewire anymore. So I go online, and Livewire is being produced again. But a lot of people pulled out of. And we totally stopped talking about your episodes. We're going to get back to it. Don't worry, Sami. But Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Dude, they could so sponsor me. I would love it. Mountain Dew. I mean, this is my life. Everybody knows I drink only fucking Mountain Dew. I mean, do. Oh, right. And there's.
Give me a can.
But I mean, Livewire, that warehouse got struck with COVID, so they shut it down and they stopped producing them. I mean, if you want to try it, Simon, go for it. I can get some more downstairs when somebody has to go take a bathroom.
It's seasonal.
Stop that.
But so of course they stopped producing it. They got the factory up and running again. They're producing Livewire again. So what pisses me off is Acadiana Bottling said, well, we're discontinuing it and no longer carrying it. And I go buy 10 cases at a time and fill the fridge up here and fill the fridge up at the shop. Well, so called them. Nowhere in Texas or Louisiana is carrying Livewire anymore. And Mountain Dew's doing advertisements of holiday drinks with Livewire. And I'm like, y'all are fuckwads. You need to get these people, these independent distributors, to pick up the drink again. I don't know if it's going to happen now because I think they just don't want to get it no more. And I had to scour and, God, I can't remember the name of that place, Tom Foods LLC or some shit like that on Amazon. Thank you very much for having Livewire because that's where I'm getting it from now on.
Okay.
And why am I so difficult? Why can't I just drink anything out of the cold box at any gas station?
Baby.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
I am particular.
But you know what? You admit it.
Oh, fuck yeah. I don't give a fuck. I want what I want. I'm at the certain point in my age where I know what I like and I'm going to get what I want.
You and Mariah Carey are a lot alike.
Can't sing just like her. Yeah, of course. Definitely. But I was disappointed about it, but where there's a will, there's a way. Kind of like how you did your podcast where there's a will, there's a way.
That segue.
You're learning how to do what it takes to put out, you know, not just the good content, but make it presentable. And make it sound well.
Yes.
I mean, we do have, you know, access to the audio, you know, master right here. But, I mean, you're doing more of it yourself with consultation from him. I'm sending him my audio, and he's actually fixing it.
Right.
You're just kind of talking to him. So you're doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
You're learning all this shit.
Yes. No. So, look, probably, and then actually this would probably be a good time to scroll.
So we're going to look at the website?
Yeah.
Want to look at the website? I love this website.
I love this website, too.
As soon as this presentation of just what you see as soon as you get there, I love it.
And actually, one of those, Trace, one of the icons at the bottom, like the logo, click that real quick. Any of them. Yeah, I downloaded 2. But just so we can, it may pop up there.
Yeah, we're on the...
Okay, so that's the newer one that I had to get from the site right quick. So click one right next to it, Trace.
Just double click.
On the bottom.
Right here, there we go. It keeps going to that screen. That's fine.
Okay. So that's what we had originally, right?
Yeah.
And the colors are a bit different.
I mean, mind you, that's nice and all, but it's just not appealing. It's like, when you got that guy to redo it and
look,
that gradient,
look, my mind was, because I was just happy with whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? I got $50. Here you go, friend.
Yeah.
You know, but this was like a dear friend of mine who was like doing me a solid. His brother is the one who does my theme song. And so they just gifted me that because they just love me as a person.
Yeah. Well, they see you going somewhere with it.
Yeah.
I think people are more than happy to work with you when they know that you're serious about it and you're going to do something with it.
And your name carries so much even before you have a business. Like just your name among your friends.
Yes.
Like that's been fulfilling.
They're like, we know Sami's going to do something with it.
He cares
he's serious.
About his shit.
Yeah.
Yes, he's serious and he will do it and he has a plan.
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course I'm going to help.
Fuck it, yeah.
That before I even make a company official, I'm just knowing that from my own peer group, just people in my life who see me and working.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're worth it. You're worth the investment.
Yeah.
Because you mean your shit.
And those little things make you just say, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I've got some people that are paying attention and they'll help me along the way.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Just like this. Nat King, by the way, everybody. Nathaniel King.
Okay.
And I always tag him in my social media when I mention the logo too.
Well, so I started doing this section shout outs. I just not really, we talk about people in the podcast and stuff, but I'm also actually putting information in the, in the description of the video. So guys, everybody we talk about, we're going to give them the shout out. We're going to put a link to where they can be found, whether it be Facebook or whatever. But I only do one of them. I don't just do everything. So like the main place, we're going to put a little blurb on the bottom.
And last time when I was here, I didn't even have any. I had the logo.
You gave me the logo because I needed. No, you had white.
I had
white,
like variations.
Yeah.
This one had variations, but it was still this design.
Yeah.
Right.
And Sami was on episode 1. So he was my first guest because guess what? He's the special person that helped me start this podcast. And it wasn't that he put it together, but it's just we spent a lot of time putting it on paper before even getting it done. And we were going through the same journey doing this, guys. So that's why, you know, Sami's so important to be a part of this because he's doing the same thing. And I mean, I say he's doing better than me because I mean he's got so much to he can go anywhere with it.
I can.
He really can. And I mean you're reaching more people than I am.
Right. It kind of. I feel like you get more views and you have like a broader reach.
Yeah.
But and I looked this up too. I was like, okay, and that helped me calm down with stats. It's like this audio format, this audio only format. Yes, you get less, like far less people, like less attention. Mm-hmm. But the ones who do go to your content are loyal because it isn't just a click through. It isn't just going to like something that's easily accessible. Mm-hmm. They have to go through some chains to like download something that they can't see to have on their phones or whatever their devices are. Yep. So whoever's a fan of yours is going to stay a fan of yours. If you get them, you get them. Yep. So it's like I weed out all the people who are maybe like wishy-washy fans. Like I get like diehards. So that means a lot to me.
And we learned, and you know what I learned too, and this is another reason why I stopped looking at stats, because I expected people that I know to actually be into it, you know, and to actually follow what's going on and to actually give you feedback. And to be honest, you don't get that. You don't.
No.
I mean, there's a few, like me and you, we're going to give ourselves feedback because guess what? We're giving ourselves honest critiques to help each other out. I'm going to tell you what's fucked up or what I don't like, but you don't have to change it. You'll do the same thing for me. That's just the respect of creativity. We can do that. But I'm just talking about, like, you see your friends that are here and there. We were talking about one before we even started the episode that, you know, is not even invested in what you're doing in your life. So I had to stop looking at the stats because I expected people here that I knew, new people here that I knew, to be into it, which they're not. I can understand that now. So I'm going to stop looking at stats. I'm not even going to worry about it. And I stopped doing it, and then I found out I was monetized, and then I had to start looking at stats again, and I was just like, nope, I'm done. I'm done with stats. I don't care. Whoever's listening to it, thank you. But those that don't, and the people that, you know, I know that don't, I'm not worried about it anymore. You don't have to, because there's so much out there to listen to.
There really is.
And to be honest, my podcast ain't really about anything. I didn't even follow a format anymore.
Come through Seinfeld. Right? Because we had a whole format. So look at how both evolved, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because one of the things I was like, well, Tim, what happened? Because I was keeping up. I was like, what happened to the Carfax? Like, that was the whole thing.
That was another thing, too,
right,
is
Carfax.
I can't stay on topic to save my life. I can't. Because if I'm sitting there and if you're interesting.
But then if we hadn't, we wouldn't have had this shirt, right?
Oh, fuck no.
Right?
Fuck no.
Right? So look at how well that works.
Yeah.
Like, thank God.
I don't. When it comes to formats, it's nice to have it.
It is. It's backup, you know, whenever you have those rough interviews.
Yeah. And I had one. But I think that just stuff should naturally happen.
Yeah.
And
then at the core is what we talked about. It's like, as long as we get someone in the chair who just naturally brings out you, which is why I was first.
Yep.
Then people will everything
but
falls
it's not
into
about
place.
me, though, Simon. It really isn't. Even though people get to know me a little bit more, they get to learn new things.
Yeah, no.
But it's just, there's got to be some engagement.
Yeah, and it takes synergy, because if you ain't feeling it, then this show go not go. You know.
And then I'm going to start.
Yeah. Like Gumby.
Yawning a lot and losing my mind. And there's been some episodes where I just yawn my way through it.
Yeah. But then there's also the episodes where like with Core, like we're like, well, let me talk about my dad right quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we made exclusive Patreon content with it, and that was it. I mean, there's no patrons, but I mean, that's another reason why I stopped looking at stats too. It's like I started worrying about why nobody's on Patreon. You know, why is nobody buying the merchandise? But maybe we want it to happen too fast. And I tell David that all the time at the shop. You want it, nothing's going to happen overnight. This YouTube channel's been around since 20.
Wasn't it 14? It wasn't 2014?
I think it was 20. No, I think it was. It's 2015-ish.
Okay, because it was before we met, and that was 2016 or 2015.
So maybe it was 2014. Because maybe I didn't meet you, but I had met Brian in 2015. So maybe it was 2014.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing that much with it. I kind of had the channel just to watch other videos.
Yeah, because by the time I met you, we could talk about this. Like, we were already back then talking about cameras and and green screens.
But nonetheless, I mean, 260 something subscribers over all those years up until this year. And now I'm almost at 6,000.
The jump.
I didn't know I had 5,000 until David told me last week. He goes, "Hey man, you're over 5,000." I was like, "Really? Oh shit." The last episode put out jumped it up another 500 or 600 subscribers.
Didn't you double since you started the podcast?
No, I've divide 263 into whatever number it is, and that's how many times I've grown. That's how much I've grown.
Not double. So however
yeah,
much.
That's tenfold times 4. That's ridiculous.
It is.
And
hello, growth.
Yeah, that is some growth now that I think about it, Simon. It is. It is.
Like, we both have been doing the damn thing and collecting just listeners from God knows wherever, followers from God. And I'm like,
yeah, and the numbers have been so crazy. I thought I had Russian bots for a while.
Yeah.
Because it was just weird how that was going on.
Like, I had justification for my weird, like, data because I know people in New Zealand. I know people in Great Britain. Yeah. So, okay. All right. I'm talking about these people all over the place. Yeah.
And when you see Dubai on a list of things, it's like, what? What's going on here?
Right.
But guess what? Oh, there's some little detailers that are following me. Fuck y'all. I don't care about them. I don't. David goes, "Oh, there's detailers all following us and watching us. I don't give a fuck about y'all."
Right.
Because y'all don't give a fuck about me. If you were watching me, why don't you say hello?
Right.
Come stop by the shop.
Look, and then think about all the ones that don't make it. Like all the stuff. Well, I don't know if you, but I've been telling you like how I was like reaching out to other podcasts that were doing the same thing because my whole thing is like on allyship or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it's not unique. Well, I mean it's unique, but like the subject matter at the core isn't like there's like how many podcasts about it. So I was like reaching out to some of them because I'm like we could collaborate or something.
Yeah. That
just sprang up in July whenever at the height of the Floyd riots, right? You know.
And you would think they'd want to work together.
Right. But, like, of the ones that I talked to initially, I'm the only one still doing shit. Yeah. I'm the only one still left with a sustainable idea.
But we won't go into call him out and shoot him down part 3.
No, but I mean, I had to. I'm like.
I look at Trace because Trace kind of had to do that on, you know, he had to let his little steam out too at some point.
It's all the same thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
People just, I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Look at me. Oh, where you at?
Where you at?
It's lip service.
Where you at? It is just lip. And look, my shit I'm proud of because I'm like, not only was I like training myself to do this, but again, like I worked on one episode in the dark. When the hurricane hit.
You didn't have lights.
I didn't have lights.
You didn't have internet.
I went to the library.
Driving everywhere, trying to just get this shit done.
Yep.
And you did it.
And I did it.
You fucking did it.
I did it. I'm like.
I was shut down for 2 weeks. You did it.
I was like, well, we just won't happen. This just won't happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to get this shit done.
Yeah.
So, and then bringing it back to
let's go back to the website here.
So you can click out of that. Like, so that was the first thing that he gave me. He gave me that for free.
I love it.
He gave me that whole redo for free.
It's so clean.
It's so clean. He was like, hey, you know, Sai, I was like working on stuff. You know, I was playing around. Here you go.
And you know what I never told you? I never told you this. But so he created all these letters. You told me that. So it's very hard to find something to put those letters on where it doesn't look out of place. And that's perfect. In my opinion, aesthetically, and you know how I am about how things look. I'm so particular about it. That looks great. It was okay, you know?
Yeah.
On a regular background, but just this gradient.
I was fine.
The scheme.
I wasn't asking for no more, and then homeboy blessed me with that. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't know that I had shit until this.
Fucking lovely.
Yes. And I'm like, okay.
So let's do like we did with Corey. Let's take a little journey on your website right here.
Yeah, we can just scroll down because there's still not a lot there. But look, he done added all these great sections. You know, just talking about my show, we can keep going.
So there's no tabs on it. It's just everything's in one page.
Well, there's tabs at the top. But I mean, I need to redo the tabs.
Well, what I'm saying is you don't have to go through a whole bunch of pages to find whatever.
It's just right there, and that's the podcast player that gave me my fucking Council Bluff.
Yeah.
Click on,
Well, that's an embed thing too, right?
Yeah.
But is that doesn't look like Buzzsprout's embed thing?
No, it's specifically from Wix.
Oh, so they build their own, and you just put the Buzzsprout link there.
You just put the RSS feed right on in it.
Oh, okay.
Look, y'all, this is like a bunch of just color blocks. Like, it was a red page, a blue page, a green page.
Yes.
And my friend just went ahead and did this, just as out of show of support for me. Because Lord knows, like, to pay the true cost of it, I'm like, no, I didn't.
Remember I told you to build these websites is some money.
It's some money. And I was like, just to get like, and then like you say, like you had already known how much all this took. So I was like leaning on you a lot with like, okay, Tim, I need to get a domain. Okay, I need a, wait, that's different from the actual person hosting it?
Child.
And that's different from the podcast hosting site?
Yes. And child, look, and not to break off from this, but I gotta go back. I gotta talk about the rescue doing things like this. People don't understand. I had one of the fundraising girl have a fight with somebody online about, well, if y'all are doing an auction for the Louisiana Husky Rescue, then you should be taking in dogs. No, the website alone takes a lot of money. I'm sorry. I mean, I might have built it, but it's got to be hosted somewhere. I got to pay a monthly service for that. Do they not understand the other stuff in the pipeline I'm paying for? You know, they don't understand these simple little things.
No.
It's not even just, it may not even just be what you see. It's other things that just build up.
Yes.
That have to be paid for.
Yes.
This shit ain't free.
No, it ain't easy either.
Yeah.
So it's like by the time you actually do get to the damn content, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Because you had to do
and you're out of money.
And out of money.
Because remember the episode that was silent? You had to make your... I won't spoil it, but you were minus a few things.
Right? Right? So look, for those who don't know, so like whenever I get faced with a roadblock, what this show has taught me is to lean into that shit. So there was one whole episode where I was like, I can't do this episode because of budget. Oh, and then I turned off my good mic, like that went, you know, and I've since taken it down because I was like, I need content out there, but y'all ain't giving me no money for content. So this is what you get. Like the mic went off, you know, it sounded like janky because it was just my computer's mic then. All the good sound effects, that was gone. The theme music wouldn't even play, it turned off.
But you know how relatable that is because people can relate to that. It starts to make sense.
The most engagement I've ever gotten was from that episode. People actually texted me, "You okay?
What's your Venmo?
What happened?" You know, I was like, "Is it something wrong with my thing?" It was 15 minutes of silence because after 5 minutes, I was like,
you got me.
Go away.
You got me. You kept walking away. Crunch,
I was
crunch.
like, well, we'll just come back next week, y'all, because I ain't got I gotta go, and I just walk off.
And I'm like that dog in the window that watches the car drive away. He coming back, right?
Right.
He coming back, right?
And then the rest of the episode was 12 minutes of silence.
And you got me. Because I even told you, I said, bitch, you even got me. I'm sitting there waiting for you.
Yeah, and I told him it was going to happen. I was like, Tim, God forgive me. But like, and I got the file on my computer, but I was like, God forgive me. And that's what I named it. But like, content.
It is what it is.
Consistency.
Yeah, boom.
Right. Right. So look, go scroll up because I can show you where it was actually. So first one was that intro.
I never even listened to that.
It's
because you told me you were fighting to figure out how to get that to actually take in some stats because it wasn't taking in stats or something like that.
And it was troubleshooting. And so I'm glad I had it out just to figure out which place was playing my shit. And then I was like, I still got to wait weeks for Google and everything else. So, that whole thing, right? Yeah. I'm just like, is it even on Apple? Because if it's on Apple, I'm happy.
That's because that's where a lot of people go anyway.
Right.
That or Google.
Because that's why there's like a gap between... No, it was a week after. Yeah, no. So there was the intro. Oh, you know what I took down that was my tester? Was the pilot. That's gone. I took that down.
Oh.
And that was... Because, y'all, I started off, like, just doing this on my Instagram. Like, that's how it initially started. And then Tim was like, you really need to start doing this and, like, making it a thing. Because it seems like you're really serious about it.
Yeah, because you started getting engagement on Instagram with it. And it was your personal Instagram, right? So it's like, if you're getting that already, you seeing the numbers move a little bit, why not? I mean,
and then I was like, okay, well, let's take a jump from just me going on my phone and like editing off of whatever that phone thing was, just like a little app on my phone, to, okay, I have my Blue Yeti. I have Audition. I have my laptop. I have like monitor head. Okay, let's do this for real. So then you got my first episode, which is the Hungry Hungry Colonizer, which tested out what I was doing, which is like my voice, how I sound. And each episode has a completely different flavor to it. Because I was like, my people ain't gonna support me. I'm like, I know they will on a certain level, but they really won't.
Yeah.
And I told you so much about like Louisiana don't support Louisiana.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I was
and yeah, we all are here, but I mean,
rare.
But the only reason why we support each other is because we're doing it.
Yes.
And we know what it's like to need the support. We really have to, kind of lean on each other.
We do.
In doing this, because the people that you want to lean on, they're either too busy, they're not interested.
Exactly.
Or they just have their own lives that they're trying to.
Or they don't even get it.
Get through. Yeah, exactly. Because.
What are you doing? What?
Yeah, why would you do that? Why'd you put a studio in your upstairs? Why don't you just rent that room out? No, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't. This is no. I could do more for myself than putting this for somebody else to use.
Preach it.
I mean, no.
Preach it. Yeah, no. So that's why I was like, okay. And approaching how I did my show, one thing that stayed true was like, I know people. I know they're not going to listen to like how to be better versions of themselves with just a person talking, or else they'd be listening to that already.
Yeah.
And I need something to differentiate myself with. And so the genius stroke was like, okay, since I'm using kids' books, instead of me just reading it, I'm going to get an actor to read it. And I have so many of my friends who are out of work actors.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get them to read it for me. And that birthed my skit crew.
Yeah.
Which I mentioned in like it's an intro.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the first test of here's what that sounds like is in Hungry Hungry Colonizer, where I have my first ever skit, which is my friend Kajori reading like some lines I had written with like 2 history major friends of mine, called the Hungry Hungry Colonizer. It sounds like the caterpillar because it's like, on Monday, that little colonizer enslaved 1 indigenous land. On Tuesday, that little colonizer sold 2 people into slavery.
Whenever that first episode was playing, I had it in the shop. I had to put Spotify because that was like the place to listen to it. Well, the best place to listen to it because you didn't have this website up yet. Mm-hmm. I freaking screamed because you finally did the damn thing. I mean. Yeah.
My theme going into that one was Trevor Noah. Like, that was my inspiration for it. Yeah. And I'm so happy that's the first impression people get whenever they listen to it is like, oh my God, I love this. I was like, yay. Because it totally, like, no other episode sounds like that one.
Nope.
So it's just, it's its own, like.
But they all have their own tone.
They all have a totally different tone. So if you like Trevor Noah, you would like that first episode.
Well, but what you're doing is you're getting them to like what you're doing.
Bingo.
That's it.
Bingo.
They don't care what the topic is. They're just really ready for that next one.
They really are, because they don't know what the fuck's about to happen.
Yeah, because you're throwing in so many elements. You're putting in that little education. You're making it easy to digest, and it's relatable. Mm-hmm. It should be, because the majority of these people have probably read these books, or at least seen the little TV show or the movie that. So they can.
Yes.
It's better than digesting a 15-second TikTok video.
Bingo.
In my opinion.
Bingo. And I mean, I have like TikTokable things in there. Like I go through the caterpillar story again and I start giving references. Like my favorite thing was to come up with like the little sing-song bit, like old Nat Turner had an ex. He gave his massa 40 whacks when he saw what he had done. He gave the rest of his family 41.
Look, that was just a little sample. Now you got to go watch the episode.
Right, because, I was like, I like that little jingle. Mm-hmm. Then like for people who like actually like podcasts, and like this format of an interview, I only have one of those. That was Try Again, David. That's the next one. Yeah, that's the only time that where the host.
Well, until your next one, because you said you're going back to that format,
and that's like 5 episodes later. Because it's that difficult to get a guest, right? But it worked like magic, and you know what? That's still my most listened to episode.
Which one, David?
Try Again, David.
Oh shit!
It got 11 things last week. I was like, what? But I mean, like that's just whenever I was still working as a behavior interventionist for my job. I talked to their diversity inclusion team, and we did a whole interview where I met them. They left some kind reviews on Apple, I think, and they.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that you could leave reviews on podcasts and stuff like that. I didn't even know that. I don't even know what mine are.
I don't think on Spotify, but I know on Apple you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm using the same thing. I'm using Buzzsprout. Well, no,
Yeah.
you're using Buzzsprout? Too,
Yeah,
right?
so
I'm
I have
using
to go
that.
to-
So I mean,
But it won't go in depth. It won't show you reviews from each of the sites. It'll give you an overview.
Oh.
So that's why I had to go into. I didn't know I had reviews until I went into Apple specifically.
Oh, so I got to dig into. Oh, see, I don't even know how to do all that because I just let Buzzsprout distribute it to it. And
yes.
I'm not really worried about the audio anyway. The audio for me is an afterthought. But so that's actually good because the more ratings you have, is it going to trend or something?
Yes. The more ratings you get, the more it goes into people's feeds.
I have a question. I wonder if the audio ones are easy to find on doing like a Google search. Hey, do this. Trace, go.
Actually, yes, let's do that.
Go open up a new tab. Just hit Control T because what?
Oh,
It is. I put it back on. And you didn't even know about it. Yeah. I did that. Yeah. All you do is Control T. You like hotkeys over there. Yeah. So just type in try again, David. Because it's the title of it. So Google should crunch that and scroll down.
That's a good point.
Try
I've
again,
never
dude.
done this yet.
Keep scrolling. SoundCloud by David Vade. Okay. So
So it's not even on the first.
it's not on the first page. Yeah, but we don't know how many views you're actually getting for them. Okay, so most people don't even go past the second page on a link. So I was just curious to see if you could find it on Google because I'm wondering how easy it is to actually just come across you.
Right.
If you're not on a if you're not using a cuz I don't have a Apple Podcast account.
Right.
I don't have a Spotify. Well, no, I have the only account I have is a Spotify because starting next week, that's the only way I'll be able to watch Joe Rogan now.
Yeah, he finally made that deal.
Because it was made 2 months ago, but he said December 1st the new episodes will be on Spotify exclusively.
Right.
And then next year, starting in January, you won't even find his episodes on YouTube. They'll be gone. So I was like, okay, I got to make that account, and that's how I listen to yours. But I just wonder because if it trends, is the trending the same on Buzzsprout as it would be on Google? But it's definitely not. It's not going to hit Google because I just don't know how that plays out.
Look into that actually,
especially because if people know your website and they go and click an episode, it's going through Wix's IP. So I know Google can look past that, but will it trend only in Iowa?
That's a good point.
Which is why maybe you had so many views in a short period of time because you trended in that area from a Wix IP. But
then it's not trustworthy because like it's saying Iowa, but whenever I actually looked at the site traffic data, it was like Oklahoma and Louisiana. Yeah.
So that's why you need Google Analytics then, because then you really have to dig deeper into it and just get yours. And it's one page, so I think it would crunch. I think it would crunch this embed player that you have in there. It should.
Okay.
So that you'd only have to just do buildabetterally.com and just have it monitor that and give you all the data for that. Because I did it for my old full attention to detail site, and it's interesting to see those stats. It really is. And I'm curious as to how easy it is to find you. Besides, people that know will give the information, but it's just like how do you garner the new people?
Right.
Not to throw us off topic, but
this is on topic. Figure out how to. That's something else I need to figure out.
Well, see, and that's why I stopped worrying about stats because it'll take you down these little rabbit holes, and you'll obsess. You really will.
Well, after I finished like my first season, my goal was like to start fleshing out the rest of this as a business. I was like, right now I just need content to talk about.
So when you say season, when do you think? So is it
10 was going to be my last one originally?
Okay,
but I'll walk you through it because right now
we're at 7 though. Right now.
Yeah, because that's number 6. 7 is about to come. Then I was going to have like 3 more after that, but then I was like, holidays are coming up. I got a new job working at Amazon warehouse.
Oh, so how's that? Did you start?
I start this Thursday.
Okay, so am I getting my packages faster? Seeing that they have somebody that
I'm gonna throw them at you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because my shit don't come on time no more.
See, I'll tell him something.
Make it happen.
I will. my first step.
Hey, they're thinking about building a distribution center in Carencro.
Oh wow, that would bring a lot of.
I think that they should take the old Walmart building on Evangeline Thruway.
Yeah. Actually,
they'd probably have to make it just a little bit bigger, but I really think that's what they should do. So we'll see.
Hopefully it brings. That's a lot of jobs that it brings if it does.
I don't know, because a lot of it's automated though. A lot of it, you have the little Roomba robots that carry things. Do a lot of the work.
So I'm about to see what's going to be in their warehouse like Thursday, because they did show videos about the little Roomba robots that go around the place.
Oh yeah, sensors on the floor galore.
I'm like, okay.
Yep, and they won't hit you.
And so I'm like, but what you really got for Louisiana though? So I'm gonna find out. But because of that, and because it's like my hours are gonna be like 3:25 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. I'm like, give me all this shit now, and I will have at least a certain number. I should have 8 by the end of this year posted.
How's that going to affect your time to work on this, though? I mean,
I don't know.
Are you just going to do it like so? Your season's going to end for the allyship here,
right?
And is anybody taking over it for while you're on a hiatus? Or are you just going to take a couple months off? I mean, what are you going to do?
So right now, my idea is like, okay, we just take the time off, and then I just build the brand around it, and come up and like be posting things like merchandise.
Yes.
You know, because I haven't even had time to do that. I'm like,
so you haven't been scribbling off of each episode, which you could make a merch thing?
No, because so much of it is like, how can I get my actors paid? Has been like my priority.
I'm telling you, that's why I did the Patreon. I really wanted the Patreon.
And so what am I going to put on the Patreon? And so I've been like building those. So like, and then it all leads into each other. But so try again, David. Going back down to that one real quick, Trace. Click on it real quick.
Yeah, you don't even have to go far.
Okay. Press play. Go to like 5 minutes. So that you can meet my inner thoughts. Play.
So I will introduce myself. My name is Lindsay, and I use feminine.
Go back to maybe 3 minutes. Stop.
This was a whole conversation you and I had.
Yes.
This isn't trademark infringement.
Right.
It's not.
And now go back a little farther, Trace.
Hot in here.
Yeah, I was more worried about the nails.
No, they won't, because there's mud everywhere downstairs. Katya is black and brown right now.
Oh.
She she dug a new hole out there somewhere. So I'm talking about mud everywhere.
Oh.
It's like, great. I guess I'll clean house tonight.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. Oh, geez. It's a puppy.
She is a puppy. She's the new Ella.
Yeah, exactly. Full of mud.
No, you didn't miss anything. I just wanted to play the introduction of my inner thoughts.
Oh, okay.
And to be like, that's why I wanted this episode to have something unique whenever it came to me doing interviews, because no one else is like having themselves talk about,
inner monologues.
Yeah, they don't have like their own inner monologues as a focus.
What do you think about that? They had I think that was a big thing in the middle of COVID when it was happening. I think it was in June. They were talking about, people are starting to realize that they don't have an inner monologue. They're just living life, just processing things and stuff like that.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I'm always talking to myself.
Yes. You mean you don't? Like, how do you just?
Yeah. No. There are people out there.
Yeah.
That somebody talks to them, they take it in, they process it, and they just do whatever. They don't have a discussion with themselves about what
they don't
plan
process
to
anything.
do. It's just binary 1010101010.
I'm like, how do you?
Even Elon Musk has
It's like fucking NPCs in video games. What the fuck?
Yeah, they just have one little.
So we're all players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Our own players, but still.
Yeah. No, I just don't understand how to process life without my inner thoughts.
Yeah, I've got to discuss with my counsel. Basically. Let's see. So that's why I wanted to bring that into my show. Like, come and sum it my head with me. That's the first time I ever did that. It was like, here are my inner thoughts. And I didn't realize how important that was until later. Then we don't need to do Where the Hurt People Are part 1. But click the second one, because you notice like there's like a whole month in between like that first one and then the second one. And this is the only thing I released in October. Because this is me doing the damn thing and finally like tackling the idea of an audio production.
And like, which was like a big component of like my initial idea of like taking these actors, reading these books because copyright and there's already performers doing these books.
Notice how the AC will only come on when that door is open.
Wow.
I have to have that door open. And mind you, yeah, okay, I showered last night. So I shouldn't have stunk, but I was creating a stink. No, I'm not worried about if you. I was smelling myself, and that fucking was horrible.
Oh, bless.
So
I was over here,
and I didn't put deodorant on because I was like, I'm not doing shit today.
And I was over here,
and here I am creating lakes under my arms that haven't been seen yet, and I'm just
superior
like, okay.
and Pontchartrain.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. What? You lost your sense of smell from smoking?
No, not. It's dull.
Yeah.
Oh,
that happens.
You say
with
I
smoking.
smell like a skunk?
No. I'm saying I couldn't pick it up.
It's fine if you say that.
I would need you to do this, and I'd have to go in and.
Yeah.
There are people into that though. They get off on that.
Oh,
okay.
ew. Oh, ew. Oh, no.
There are.
Oh, no. Not this episode. Not tonight. Not tonight.
Well, you ever notice on the dating apps they're like, hey, that they're trying. I learned that because I was curious. Why are all these people on this app and why are they all laying like this?
Some people is in the pits.
Because they want somebody to nosedive into their armpit. I was like, no, thank you. No.
Without a deodorant.
And with or without. You can keep your pit to yourself. So, yeah, that's why. But it's funny how. And it's an Ecobee. And there's supposed to be a sensor in here. But past residents broke the sensors. So I gotta get new ones. So they wouldn't care about maintaining things properly. So I can't keep that door closed.
Bless.
So yeah.
The past comes to haunt us.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm gonna just get a Nest eventually, and I don't even know if that's gonna help. Because if that door is still closed, it's still there's a different temperature in here, which is why I got the ones with the sensors. So that if the door is closed, it won't be hot in here.
Right.
It should say, oh, well, this room is still at whatever degree, and balance all three, the hallway, the other room, and this room at the same time. Oh, I smell good now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We like ourselves.
You know, and I don't use deodorants that you can find. What's wrong with me? Why is everything for me so fucking difficult?
It's just a chance to be a brand ambassador. What's the name of the deodorant?
Crystal.
Okay.
My mom found it.
Okay.
And she was like, maybe try this cause I need a strong deodorant. And I was like, okay. And I was using Mitchum. And I didn't really like the way that smelled. So now I use this Crystal. And I'm talking about it'll eliminate an odor fast. And it stays there all day long.
That's another ad. Crystal.
Buy it.
Yeah. Crystal. I think this is Crystal 24 or something. I thought about bringing the stick up, but I was like, nah.
Because the way you do it is so natural, you don't even know you're advertising. Like, that's the best part. Like, you should totally just implement that.
I'm like Whitney Cummings. No, she so stages her commercials, even though she goes, I don't just talk about products like I don't use them. I use them. So I'm not using the script. You know, she does. It's like, okay, Whitney, please.
No,
let's
you're
not do
definitely off script. It's whatever you think of that's going to be coming in this episode. For sure. For sure.
Yeah, okay. So we got to go back to your episode because I literally just thought of how when the AC came on, I was like, relief, the door's got to stay open.
We need an ad. Listen up, Crystal.
Yeah, come on.
Sponsorship.
Yeah. Mountain Dew should really do it.
You can click play real quick, Trace. I learned for a whole straight month how to do everything in this episode.
Sounds. Balancing everything on the same audio level so that it doesn't sound janky. It sounds like it's all together.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sai, and I'm the host.
So this sounds like I'm in an auditorium and that we're about to put on a play, which is my first ever audio play, based off of Where the Wild People Are, called Where the Hurt People Are. You can skip ahead to, like, I think minute 5. Trace, it really doesn't matter, honestly. Just so you can hear what my actors sounded like. Oh, actually, pause real quick. That excitement, MP3, right there.
Wait, what?
Click that. And
I don't
just
know what
use
that's going to open on because I don't.
VLC.
No, I don't have VLC. Oh, I do have VLC.
You do. I used it earlier.
Okay.
Will it give you options?
There's not many things on that laptop because I still haven't really configured that whole thing. It's mainly just editing purposes. What do you mean?
Oh.
I'm trying to move the window. Make sure it's you, pin.
Oh, you can't move the. Well, I mean, there's no.
I'm sorry. I blanked out. What's it doing?
Just a moment. Enter full password because you're accessing sensitive information.
What?
Oh, bless.
Oh, what the hell is this? Fuck if I know.
Oh, bless.
I just clicked the VLC player. So I guess.
I really don't remember the password to this.
I just back out because it's playing. I don't know what that's doing. I just back out. Oh.
I don't know what the password is.
Well, this is what I think. We'll just let this thing.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. That's all I needed to do. My bad.
Oh.
Just, how about not?
So I wonder why it asks for login stuff. And I gotta figure out how to change that login because I don't know the password to that.
Quack. Quack. Okay, we will investigate that later. Because it didn't do that to me whenever I played this clip earlier.
But why is it playing? I thought it was gonna do it in VLC.
And I thought so too.
Maybe right click. So let's close this out because now I'm this is troubleshooting. So click that little caret. Yeah, the little caret right here. Okay. No, this one. Excitement. Okay, show in folder. Okay, so it'll pop up there. Right click on the actual file.
Oh, is it maybe because it's an MP3? The other one was an MP4.
Well, that's okay. Open with. And then do VLC. And that way it opens up in VLC, and we'll be fine with that.
There we go.
Instead of the default, because typically I use Winamp for MP3 files, because it's just, I guess because I'm an old fuddy-duddy, and that's what I used to use for all audio. So.
You do enough.
Yeah. So what we're going to do with this one?
So, and you can like skip like maybe to 3 minutes in for this trace. This is important because this is where I started. It sounds terrible. Just let it play. So it's like, it's long. This is me trying to make my first ever soundscape. Mm-hmm. Ever. Not knowing how to do it. I was like, Trace, how does this work? And I was like, and can you do stuff like this? He was like, if I need to do stuff like this, you would need to tell me 2 weeks in advance so I can block off a whole day and only work on this.
And it just goes to show these little things take time.
Yeah, because he was like, so I hear you have a lot of sound effects happening there. You're trying to like balance things. This takes a lot of time. You know, are you sure you want to do all that? I'm like, well, yeah, because this is like half of what I was trying to do with my show. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, you got some learning to do.
And how long was that episode? All this
together was 40 minutes in the end.
Yep.
And so you can click out of it, Trace. I just wanted to show you where I started from. And then go back like 15, hit that 15-second mark. Okay, and then just hit play. Keep it going.
It's a wonder what happens in the heart of a young child.
And then so all of it's different, right?
Yeah.
The glow up in it, right? Yep. I was like.
And how long did it take you to progress from
a month?
That? Wow.
It took a month.
Is that why we walked away in the sunset and was quiet for so long?
Yes. It took a whole month.
Hold on. A month of intense or casual research?
Intense.
Yeah.
Intense. There was nothing casual about it.
Yeah. And no other work. It was just trying to get this put together.
Just trying to get that put together.
So then you understand why Trey said, I need 2 weeks in advance.
Yes. No, I did. I was like, okay, and this is somebody with, you have a master's in it, right?
No, associates.
Associates.
Yeah.
So someone with an associate's, but from Minneapolis.
Yep.
Right? You know, a hub of this shit.
Yep.
You know, saying, oh, no. I am an expert and I would need time.
So, and now then that makes you appreciate
Yes.
the time and effort put into something.
Oh, it does.
Because I know I do every time I do something. Because not only are we're gonna break from this one, and I'm gonna show you something that I did,
Okay.
video wise, that I had to do myself, which I was very proud of, and it took a lot. Trace, go to the YouTube channel. Open up a new tab. So I'm glad you appreciate and understand how long it takes to do something, because I only made this video for my clients.
Well, I would understand the video thing because I understand that world.
Yeah, but
The sound thing is what I now appreciate.
But it's still the effort and trying to learn all of that and trying to do it. So this just kind of tells the audience a little bit that when you are learning something, and if somebody's teaching you, don't have lip about
Amen.
it, because you're learning it.
Yes.
So that's why I want to. That's what I want to stress here. That's the little lesson learned in this one right here, which you had and you appreciated, and you had consultation from Trace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go to the to my little icon all the way on the top right. Yeah. Go to my channel. And then click on videos. Scroll down. Just scroll down, keep going. It's gonna be from last December. Okay, slow down a little bit. 8 months ago, 11 months ago.
A year ago?
Stop. Okay, scroll up a little bit. God, these videos.
What's the name of it?
So I did a Christmas story one.
So it's not Tim's Christmas Story?
No, that's one as well that took a lot of editing. It took weeks to do. Man. Okay. Okay. Even the fucking My Corona one was a lot of effort. Scroll up. Keep scrolling up. Just go all the way to the top. Okay, go to Manage Videos on the right-hand side. Okay. And you're going to just kind of scroll down until you get to December. Oh, God, it's taking forever.
I need to use the bathroom.
Is it going to load? Okay, so yeah, scroll. Just scroll down,
Keep
scroll
going.
down.
Keep talking like I'm here.
Keep scrolling down. Keep going. Trace, you're going to be going a ways. I know, it's thinking. Oh, we're at the bottom. So choose like 100 or the max. Okay. And you'll probably have to go to a page 2. Why is it so slow? And it might be because, yeah, mobile hotspot. I think it's because it's a private video and it was just a link for the clients. Okay, so go to the next page because it's from last year. It's from December. It was so just go until you get to December. Okay, here it is right here. Yeah, it's unlisted, that's why. So this video right here took a lot. So view on YouTube. So when we talk about production and appreciation for, I mean, and it wasn't that many views because I sent it to 50 clients and half of them, yeah. So, I mean, I'm having to just kind of work this video, add these elements, do all this weird stuff, adding my own little music number to it, and just every little thing to get this to look nice. I mean, you get, and then just to have this, I mean, yeah. And I don't know if people appreciate just the creativity and the want to present that to somebody. The thought process of putting this together, you gotta really want to do it, and you really gotta like doing it.
Yes. I don't want to do anything else, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, I want to, do my little car thing, but like, there's a reason that I chose to pursue this as a career.
Yeah, and I'm just doing this to make my clients happy. That's it. And that was a client video. I mean, I spent 3 weeks from start to spending every little night putting this together just to send to the clients. So when Saimi does that for his audio, I truly admire somebody that will take on that task and complete it without giving it up.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, just putting this all together, it's a lot. It really is.
Yes.
And for 40 minutes, Saimi, you
Yes.
think you got the response that you wanted?
Yes.
You can close. You can stop that one. I just wanted to show how I had to do a production similar to that. Not only was it this one, but then I had the My Corona one that got over 5,000 views. You know, I didn't realize, and that's when I didn't realize I had that many people following me, is until I made that concert video of My Corona. What did you see that one, Trace? Yeah, watch. We can go. I just want you to it's at the beginning, so we can keep going down. I think because we loaded it already, we should be able to do it. Yeah, there it is. The parody. Nope. Next, right next to it. Yeah. So doing that one, holy shit. I mean, it was ridiculous. And that's when I just started doing silly shit. What is going on with it? Doing every little TV.
Wow. Was that an After Effects?
No, this is all pieced together in Premiere.
Wow. Wow.
My horrible ass singing everything. I didn't care. I wanted to do something about coronavirus and just put it out there in the universe. All of the lyrics myself, everything. That was kind of the last major green screen video thing that I did. Sounded horrible.
Wow.
So I figured out, I know production is tough. And when you said you were going to do this, you can close it out, Trace, that I can't wait to see what he comes up with. I can't wait till he puts it out. And when you did, I was like, I'll be there.
That text message was good. That was a voice message.
Yes, I was like,
I gotta listen to it twice because I didn't hear nothing. I was just focused on how you designed it.
I was listening
That
to
was good. That felt good.
The little nuances, the little changes, all of that stuff. I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. Go halfway through.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
About halfway through. Thank you. I appreciate it because play. You can go, maybe to right there. Play. Okay. Maybe right there.
Do 15 like twice. Oh, well, he did it twice and didn't go very far. Maybe 2 more times.
Yeah. Okay, play. 15 again. Yep, keep going back.
You might need to do 4 so you can get a full.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We can get a full minute.
There we go. Listen to this.
I remember what this originally sounded like.
Yeah. I don't have that one anymore.
What you mean, the before?
Yes, the original, like.
Child, you need to keep on.
She recorded this on an iPhone in her closet. That voice.
See, just.
So she ended up getting this mist and then the music. I learned how to score. Like I found like a whole website that had music, like royalty-free music. And I was like, just putting it under the bed, like it'll just, and I was like, no, every sound matters.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if I start treating the music like it's an actual instrument?
Mm-hmm.
So like I took this song and I stretched it. It goes faster than this. And I was like, let's stretch it out and see what happens. And it created this creepy shit.
What you needed.
Which I needed. Her mystic voice, because she had shitty like phone equipment that she was recording on. You could hear like, even after I got the noise out, you could just hear that it was just a shitty mic. And I was like, so what can I layer this with?
And as she said, an iPhone. I tell y'all, that
Just
shit's
saying.
garbage.
Just saying.
Even though Trace posted something about Android users and iPhone, I was like, ooh, that shade.
Those are not microphones. Those are just phones.
first just assembling this in audition, just their dialogue and audition to make it sound like they're next to each other, and just like doing like fucking voice acting, you know, directing work was like a whole mood. So the actors had to like, and no one understands what's in my head until I play it for them.
Yeah.
So I had to get all of that, assemble it one time with like performances, so I could show them, this is what it sounds like. This is what I plan on doing. And then they were like, oh, I got it. She gave me this. She was like, I'm in a telenovela. Yes. Oh, I'm supposed to scare this child to shit. Oh, I've got it. And then she gave me that. And I was like,
thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Same thing with the one who's playing the little boy talking in the scene. She was like, oh, I'm scared shitless. Okay, got it.
Yes.
And so
that leads me to ask, how easy is it to get people to understand what they need to do?
oh my God.
That response is like, whew, child.
And you can pause there. So I won't say I don't have good support. I have great support with these people who are just like coming out the woodwork to just do whatever and help me out with it.
You told me they were just showing up all of a sudden.
Yes.
You're like, whoa.
The one who plays that sea witch kind of voice is in Canada. I know her from my cruise ship days. The one who plays the little boy who's like the main character in this whole thing was back when I was working PR at a library, and she was one of the people who helped me like schedule performers back when she was in like Massachusetts, like working for them.
Shit.
You know, like, and that was like circa 2013, 2015,
It
around
feels
then.
good whenever somebody just, that you crossed paths with are like, got you.
Yes. Oh, I'll help you, fam.
Yes.
I've never done it before. I'll help you.
Got you.
So first it took me a second to figure out what I needed to do. Like just in organizing them and figuring out what I wanted. Like, okay, you know, you need to give me that 30 seconds of silence because you got all this shit happening in your background. And I need to get rid of it so that I can make you sound good from the, like I can
so
work
I get
you
your
up.
voice.
Yes.
And not whatever is humming.
Yes.
On any frequency.
So one actress specifically, we didn't play her clip yet, but she was like recording everywhere in her house. We had to do like 5 or 6 different sessions because I'm like, you recorded in a laundry room, didn't you? I can tell because I can hear echoing and like metal surfaces, reflective surfaces. You need to go to a closet. It's why I keep telling you this.
Sue, go back in the closet.
I was like, I love you, Kenya. We need to do this again because do you hear it? Yeah. Well, that means everyone's going to hear it.
And we need to eliminate that.
And so I can't just make that go away. Like, you know, oh, and we all know this feeling. Just handle it in post. Ugh. You can't.
No.
You can't.
No.
You know, one had like this clicking, you know, throughout the whole of their performance. And I'm like, what do you think? Yes. And I'm like, what do you think I can do with that?
Nothing.
What do you think I can do with this? Oh, well, can't you just take that out? No, honey. That's not, you take it out.
Photoshop does a great job, but this is audio.
This is audio. Okay.
Got you, fam.
Yeah, but
Okay.
mind you, we learning that now. But
Yeah.
still,
Look,
you want to
look.
eliminate that so you don't have to start spending another 5 hours of editing it.
But how many years did I study this versus?
Right. And no, look, and then how did I find all the presets for half the shit I was doing in this? But I did it all manually. Like, that was manually adjusting from Trace's advice, every single actor's
Manually
EQ.
will always get you better results. than
It
just
does.
clicking presets.
But and I haven't had a single complaint about that damn, like, about everyone's sound. Okay? Because I'm like, okay, because I did all that shit. I did the frequency analysis. I was like, you're too low, you're too high.
So, do I get this understanding that we're all crazy about how something sounds?
Because it matters.
We're crazy.
Yes.
No.
All of our work. It doesn't matter if it sound like, if I'm doing video work, you don't think I'm like, these transitions are off?
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. And to have something out there where you will garner a following,
Yes.
it has to sound good.
It has to be the best
And for
that
me,
I can do.
I believe it should look good.
Yes.
It should have a good feel, the environment. Half the room looks great.
Yes.
And I mean, that's the environment we're in, which gives us
Yes.
that.
Presentation matters.
Yes.
The show matters. It matters.
Yep.
Because this is what, look, this is what got so much attention to this play is that my friends who were in it shared that shit because they were proud of it.
Yes.
they were proud to have been a part of it.
Yes.
And they were like, oh no, I still got people, because the actress is Canadian, but she's actually Colombian. So I still got people from fucking Bogota liking my page because of this play. Because she's in it, and she was like, look how amazing I sound here. The Sea Witch always gets them. I got so many damn comments about the Sea Witch. That was like...
Well, as I said, though, if you're paying attention to all of those little sounds, and as I told you, I had to listen to it to understand what's being portrayed, because I didn't listen to I was listening to the quality.
Yeah.
Quality is so important.
Yeah, no.
It's tough. It's tough paying attention to quality.
It is. Every single detail.
It's a double-edged sword. It's hard to achieve it, and then it's hard to not fucking want it all the time.
Yes, because I did that scene first. Whenever I realized, okay, I need to stop approaching this like podcast land and like a song. And so then I started like looking up vocal mixing just for music and was like, what are they doing with instruments? Because everything is an instrument, including their voices. So how do I balance? And then when I did that, I had to go and redo the first half of this shit again because all of it sounded like, you could just tell everything sounded worse like than that scene. And I was like, oh no, we need to bring everything else back up.
That's why I want to hear the before ones, but you said you don't have them.
I feel like I may have.
But I mean, just listening to that one little clip, it's just a complete 180 in a different direction, which is where it should be.
I feel like I don't even know, because it just got so messy. I learned how to organize myself better, because I was like, okay, all the soundscapes go here, the SFX goes here, my music goes there.
So are you really digging into that little project management part of yourself?
What? And they want to talk about, oh, I don't know if you can do it. That's also what gives me encouragement. It's back whenever, and Tim knows this, back before I started my cast, one of the reasons I did it was because I was trying to get into product and project management, because they're separate. And I was trying to get into like podcast land and say, hey, I have these skills, I can do these things. I just need the opportunity to show people I can do this and help you and like work with you. And I had like, you know, I was like reaching out to friends of friends and mentors and people who were doing this professional, and they were like, oh, well, you know, it's a lot of work being a producer. Like very like patronizing, like just,
it's like, bitch, do you know what I've been doing the last 7 years of my life?
Thank you.
In completely different industries.
Yep. Bish.
That's why when I look at people and they're like, are you don't have a degree, you didn't do this, you didn't do, bitch.
Thank you.
If you put your mind to it, and if you can critically think,
thank you,
you can do it.
Thank you. Thank you. There's no excuse.
I do agree. A degree is important, but you know,
a degree just gives you access to learning easier, faster.
Yes.
You know,
and
like
that's why I did it.
Yes. Otherwise, then you're like us, and you're going on YouTube, you're scouring, you're using your own time,
critically
you're weeding
thinking.
And critically thinking, because you know everybody wants to give advice. It's not all good. Yeah. There are plenty of,
and you have to test it out.
You
can't deny. You can't just throw it away, because what if it does work? It might work for a certain type of application.
Child, look, I texted him. I was like, Trace, is there just, because I was like, EQ after EQ like tutorial. I was like, wait, this is all the same damn thing. Trace, is there just 1,000,001 ways to do the same damn thing? He was like, yep. And now you've reached the point in your education where you learn about audio. I'm like, what the fuck? So this dynamic processing shit is the same as this FTT filter, is the same as this parametric equalizer.
They're just using a different name, motherfuckers.
You just used a different name. So learned that.
Yeah.
You know, had to do it, had to get through that process. Important thing I want to mention, and then I'll move on from it, though, is that because of this, and I made this play, I was like, there's nothing else I can't make. That gave me so much encouragement. I was like, I can make anything I fucking want after this. And so I have been. And so one of the things I'm doing to help re-promote this whenever I come back to it is writing a song. I've been learning how to like write songs, and I'm starting with lyrics. I've been talking to other musician friends of mine for like feedback, because I wanted to make a song for this play specifically.
Oh, okay.
Because at the end, one of the actors noticed, oh, well, it just transitions and then it's like over. You know, then I start talking and it like the point of it comes up.
Oh, shit. I just had an idea while you was talking about that.
What?
Trace. Next year I need a new video score. So the track that I had made is out of England, and I had the guy make it. I need a new one for all videos for next year, starting in 2021. Start thinking about something. You got to listen to the one that I have now.
Yeah, it's got a vibe.
I need...
Like, you mean your intro track to the show?
Not the show. To my regular videos for the business.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar.
Okay, well, actually, I do want you to hear it. You do need to hear it at some point, but you can just go to a video of a vehicle. Any vehicle from this year.
I have heard, yeah.
Actually, just go ahead and pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I you know how I am, Tommy. I interrupt, and then I have the thought. So just go back to the videos, and he can listen to it, on his audio setup. So I paid this guy a little over $6.
I think Annie, right?
No, because I was still using.
I looked at that one.
I was still using Taylor Swift and a couple of them.
I looked at the BMW.
Scroll up. Okay, so go to, click on that one, Like a God. I listen to my own videos over and over again to make sure they're right. So
I do the same thing. Do you know how many times
I'm
tired of my own voice?
I always do a vehicle opener. I don't need the vehicle opener score. I need as soon as the video starts. No, let it play.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, that like hip hop beat.
But mind you, I told him elements of other things I've heard, and then I told him, I said, I need a rock vibe too, and he did it. Oh, exactly. I was like, I need something that will make the people just.
You know what I listen to?
No, I know.
Okay.
That's why it just clicked in my head when you're talking about making a song. I was like, shit, I'm not using Trace. Well, I mean, I am. And I'm sorry I'm using you because I'm not paying you right now.
Untapped resource.
But mind you, I was like,
Wi-Fi.
I can't afford to pay this guy to make a new track because that track was $600.
Bless.
And you see that rock part? I needed that. Yeah. But it's so people have commented, like, when I first started using it, they're like, damn, that shit is tight.
Yeah, you could put a beat on top of that.
I will just watch a video just to get this track, to get just vibe to it. So I need another one for 2021.
A banger. You should also kind of have a song too.
Well, I don't like words. I don't like lyrics. I'm not a lyrical person.
I might come up with some.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I'm not a lyrical person.
And see, that's where I start. That's so weird. Like, you guys start with like sound, and I started with words first. Like, I did. I was like, let me come up with lyrics first. Oh, did we figure out a new superpower for us? Like, because our powers combine, right? You remember how we all complement each other, right? Oh! Did we just do that again?
No, yes, we did.
We did. I'm great with this. Neither can I.
Got it, but I got you.
I do lyrics first.
So, I mean, I've just never been a lyrical person. Yeah, you can close that out again.
I totally
just go back
started
to his
with
website
lyrics first. Oh, my God.
But my problem is I'm not good with representing my thoughts through something lyrical is my thing.
I didn't know I was until I did it.
Yeah.
I was like.
Because to be honest with you, I did think that, maybe I should do something about like what the business does,
right.
But instead I did like explaining videos and had a little jingle in the back while I did it and did the sound effects and stuff. So, I mean.
But for me, it has to be something that makes me interested. And what made me interested in all my shit was music. So as soon as I found like the right music to make me want to focus on something, that would make me, I don't know, you get that weird, I understand that weird ass where you don't know what time it is, when the last time you ate was. You just like,
the fucking zone.
Fuck yeah. You just like, it's working. This is perfect. This is perfect. This is some good ass shit.
And I think that's why it's easy to talk with you because you're realizing it more and more.
Yes.
And I see somebody.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I realize to myself that I need to spend less time with people that don't understand that.
Oh, amen. Yeah, no, I cut out some.
And I need to.
Yeah.
What? Voodoo. So every year Mountain Dew puts out Voodoo during Halloween. Last year was candy corn. What is this year? It's Runts.
Wow.
What did you say earlier? No, you said nerds.
Nerds?
Yeah, you said nerds.
Excuse me. Runts, but I mean.
Okay, so they're both wrong. You got one more. Think of all the flavors Mountain Dews come out with. And what is their... Oh, they're spider webs. Damn, they don't ever get touched.
I was like, oh.
So, well, I mean, fuck. I mean, they just sit there. They don't do anything. And I'll tell you what, they had a bunch of babies in the backyard because I've been swatting away a lot of spider webs. So they probably made their way in here.
What's the flavor, Trace?
So... But where I'm trying to lead you to is, okay, so they make a lot of berry flavors, right? Okay. That's not it either.
Is it a prior flavor?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, I don't even know what it, like, because Runt's is the best that I have. It tastes like candy.
Okay, but Runt's is similar to what? Runts are all different types of fruits, right? Yeah. Okay, so it's fruit explosion. That's what they called it. Fruit. It's a fruit explosion.
That shit.
So it explains it about as much as Liberty Brew with 50 different flavors.
Yeah.
So it's all of their fruit flavors that they have made.
Liberty Brew is just a mind fuck.
Yeah, Liberty Brew, and mind you, those Liberty Brews, you can't find them fuckers anywhere. And I got
That's such a cop out.
A whole slot.
All the flavors.
They said no fruit explosion.
What the fuck?
So
50, like the states. Each.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
But it was good though.
Okay.
It was
Just
good.
call it fucking punch.
Fruit punch, right?
Yeah.
They can't do that because they got somebody else.
You're cycling through.
You're taking a journey down all these different orchards.
It's an experience.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what voodoo is. I mean, it's
okay.
They do the voodoo that do does. That Mountain Dew does.
Good ad placement. Just
but
saying.
I was just thinking about, just the relatability between people that you don't have to always explain why you're doing it or how hard it is. It's just an understanding of that's what you need. Okay, well, da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You know, you are getting to that in life earlier than I did. I'm only getting to that now where it's just like, I kind of don't want to deal with too many people that don't even understand what this journey is about.
No.
And it's just life in general.
Yep.
And coming across the obstacles and overcoming them.
Yep.
Instead of just saying that everything's a problem.
Yes.
Okay, we have a problem, right? So what do we do with that problem?
Exactly.
Okay, we find out how the problem started, where it originates from, and we don't spend that much time on it, but guess what we're going to do? We're going to figure out how to resolve this problem and solve it, right? That's what I've been about with everything. But I just didn't realize I needed to exclude people from my life that are not doing the same thing.
Yes.
Because what do they say? You hang around, and I've said it once before, if you hang around 5 billionaires, you'll be the 5th one. You know, you need to hang around like-minded people that are actually doing things and trying to succeed. So you want to learn how to read better, you hang around 5 people that do nothing but read. You'll be the 6th one that starts reading better. So that's what I've started restructuring friendships and things like that. Yeah, we all broke in this motherfucker, and we all trying to make these things happen. But it's a slow process. I'm patient. I'm a long-term type of person.
And it's like, it's like we keep, and it's weird because we always contradict ourselves because we're like even just before this episode, we were like, oh man, how long have we been doing? It's been so long. But then also, can you believe that passed already 10 weeks?
Yes.
It's like both.
I think you say that more than I do.
I'm like, 10 weeks? What?
Where did she go?
What happened? But versus like, good God, it's been since March, since we first talked to, I'm like both right now.
And the year is almost done.
And that's why we talked about it, was because we were both like, I should have been on episode this.
Yeah.
I should have been. I had a whole month of having to just work on episode 4. And like, then a month to figure out, well, what the fuck do I do after? Because that wasn't planned at all.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so that's why I was like, okay, well, what else? Like literally, and then you're like, okay, well, if I'm around my other people who are like, there's nothing I can't do, well, then I'm just gonna think, well, there's nothing I can't do, so why can't I just do the next?
Then let me not let them down and let me do it.
Bingo. Let me just get to fucking, instead of just talking about it, let me just look, and I can bring him up now because he's relevant. But Alex, You know, I do regret one thing, which was like way back when old boy was always about trying to make some song, write some song. He was always trying to make the next bop. He was so into pop music, had books about it, like how to read it. I regret like laughing at that back then because, you know. Like,
but you've moved past that.
I
You
moved
actually
past
decided to do it.
Yes.
There's more of that. I want to do this. I want to do that. What's stopping you from tapping into it?
Exactly.
Why don't you do it?
Exactly. You know, and I'm like, I'm the type that doesn't need somebody to support me around. It helps. It makes it easier.
It really does. It makes you kind of feel better that.
Like, not crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like how we were for each other. Like, is this a crazy idea? You know, like if I had said, yeah, you shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, are you doing this?
But who
and
else
this?
is doing this?
And this?
Yeah.
And what else are you doing like that's new?
Yeah.
Like asking the right questions about it, you know?
Well, we also did one thing most people didn't do during this pandemic. What was the pandemic? It was a big fucking lemon, right? Mm-hmm. What did we fucking do with
Make
that bitch?
lemonade
We
out of
squeeze that
bitch.
motherfucker,
Yep. For all it's worth.
all the juice out of it. And I tell you what, now we have a new thing that we're chasing.
Yep.
I mean, it was something to capitalize off of because the shift on what people were doing was listen to podcasts.
Yep.
I mean, the proof was in my channel. I was like,
That was at home.
That was the main thing that made me go, I can get more information out. I can get the people doing shit exposed to these people that are following me.
Yep.
I think that's a real way to help people.
Yep.
Because we all need help. We're all drowning out here.
Yes.
Because we're losing jobs.
Yes.
We don't know what to do next.
Nope.
So, oh well, fuck it. Let's do it.
Look, all the people I got from my little actors, that's why I was like, priority is figuring out how to get them some coin.
Yeah.
You know.
We joke about that shit all the time.
We do,
We're
though.
doing all this and we ain't made a cent.
Ain't made a cent.
Well, I lied. Now I'm monetized now, but
then, like,
that ain't shit.
And I have to think about this too. We ain't made a cent, but the people we do be working with who be helping us out, we be giving them something.
Yeah.
You know.
I try. I mean,
you know.
You got me. You
Right.
got the fucking camera.
Yeah, the camera.
But I think of things like that as like, you know what I would have done with that fucking thing? I probably would have threw it in the trash.
Guess what?
But
I
mean,
I don't have a camera now.
I know.
Now I got two. I got my phone, which records probably about the same quality. And if I want to do a cooking show, I can put one up here, and I can have one, and I can just go
But
back
now
and
you got
forth.
something you can attach lenses to.
Yeah.
You can get your lenses.
Oh yeah, that's true because Rogan uses those.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you're using.
Oh, I can attach a lens to it?
Yes.
Yep.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, there are attachments that
That's
make
my
that
world.
camera worth $1,500.
Because no matter the camera body, that shit never, you know.
All that's doing is recording.
Yeah.
You
It's
can
the
modify.
lenses.
You can modify.
A lens
and
will always keep its value
put stuff
more
on
than the
there.
camera.
Because that's why I bought that one. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna get this one. I think that the one I got is a model or two under his.
Okay.
But his same fucking thing.
Yeah.
He's just got
It's
a
all
shit
about
ton
lenses.
of attachments on it.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, this is better than his $1,500 camera.
There's a Sony. I just need a larger frame because I've noticed cell phone photography sensors like a grain of rice.
And then it's all in the lens. My film people taught me that. Half of it, that body isn't even a third of what actually makes things look good.
So sensor size really is irrelevant?
Yeah.
Depends on the application that you need the sensor for, though.
Okay,
for
fair.
lighting, for
Fair.
contrast, all the other stuff. Then, I mean, if you want more fine-tune adjustments in that, then yes, you're gonna need a more expensive. That's why.
Okay, yeah.
That's why this bitch is so expensive still.
Yeah.
This is from when me and Brian went up to Colorado in 2016 because I bought it from Jordan when I was
Wow.
there. I've not found a camera better than this. The only problem is it's Android based and you can't update it anymore.
See, and I hate those little.
But it's fucking great at taking pictures and video. Nothing beats this, in my opinion. And I mean, without the lens, this is still $1,600
Jesus.
because of its because of the internals of it.
But that held its quality, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
That held its quality. You know, you don't need to be updating, but even though they have to, like all these film people, but if they're like you with your equipment, Trace, like they're constantly updating lenses more than they are the body of the cameras.
Yep.
Because that's like their always latest thing that's coming out that's putting everyone to shame.
But every once in a while, if you have a good body, no matter what lens you put on there, is going to be fucking phenomenal.
And then if you know what the fuck to do, because again, with my shit, you know, I was thinking how limited I was with the Blue Yeti. So actually, we can go out of this now because I'm done talking about that episode.
Oh, we're gonna get a Yeti sample.
Yeah, I'm just like, I've used the same mic throughout every episode that I've had, and it's only now that shit sounds. Let's do Wormwood 2020. This episode I worked on during the Hurricane Zeta, for anyone who's not in Louisiana. That hit, I lost power, and I made sure my laptop was charged before it lost power. And as soon as it did, I hit that crazy manic mode. Let's make it work. Let's make the shit work.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I was like, because this episode, trying to follow up a fucking play. All right, so you know, like I did the damn thing last time, and everybody was like, well, what's next? No, we're just gonna start from the very beginning with this one. Actually,
well, I'm gonna ask my question after this.
Yeah,
after you
play
play
it,
this,
and we're gonna listen to 1 minute.
Hey everybody,
you might want to go into it a little bit, though, huh?
I am stressed.
Yeah, just a little.
Very stressed. Just now.
No, I think you need to do 15 seconds a couple times to get in there.
This is it. This. This is me explaining what's been in my head for the past.
And I sit there and visualize all of the discussion. It's just keeping people on track. Just.
So, you're gonna have to excuse me, but today I honest to God need a break. So, I'm gonna go for a walk inside my head. And you're welcome to join. It'll be like, I don't know, the Magic School Bus where they just go inside people. You're just gonna go inside my brain with me. You have now arrived at the St. John Mandel Station 11.
And you sound like you're in the New York City subway, bitch. Sounds good.
Oh, but before I forget, inner thoughts. Inner thoughts? Meow.
No.
Wait, why do you look like a cat? It's your subconscious. Figure it out. There.
Almost about to stop it. No, not yet.
Doll Express. Now arriving the Doll Express. Doll Express now boarding. Doll Express now boarding. Alright, we need to take a ride on my train of thought. That's so on the nose. Name a better metaphor. Touche. Doll Express now departing. Doll Express now departing.
And now you can pause it. I learned all that shit to do everything I did in 40 minutes and 16 minutes.
Oh, shit.
All of it. Same technique. All of it. Sounds better than the play because I made my whole soundscape. I made you understand where we were in, what is this time? 2 minutes, 19 seconds. It took me about 5 or 6 to make you feel like we were on an island.
Yeah.
And the other one.
Yeah.
But you get it, right? Like we're in a subway station.
Yeah.
You said it.
yeah.
I've got the little PA. It happened like that. And I was like,
You took me where I needed to go in there.
yeah. I'm like, and now, like, from the very second episode of like turning on inner thoughts, we're revisiting that idea and you're actually going in my head with me. So I couldn't find a guest. Like I talk about why this episode was so fucking terrible to make in this episode. And I just leaned into it. I was like, well, what if I did an episode about how hard it is to make an episode? And I just like interviewed fucking thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. The actors, 2 new ones, all 3 new ones, including the one who I'm making like the face there. I had messaged you 2 about it, you know, before the hurricane hit about like, I want to have like a presidential debate.
I
but
know.
with like fictional
I was
characters.
expecting that, and then I didn't hear anything. But then,
And then it
everything
happened.
got chaotic
It got
because of the
chaotic.
hurricane, I think.
I even mentioned it in there how I wish I had time to do this.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, wait, well, what does it sound like? Oh, it sounds like this. And then I have like bits of the debate in there.
Yeah.
And I just talk about how difficult it was to just make this one episode.
And then, so let's rewind, go back to what we said earlier. We talked about project management, and being able to just get something done no matter what's thrown at you?
Yes.
Didn't you have an idea? It didn't work out, and you
several times.
You planned again.
Yep.
That didn't work. You went through maybe 4 or 5 different plans, and then you had Mother Nature throw in its little its disturbance, and guess what you did? You produced something.
Right. Look.
And people listened to it, right?
Yes.
So it's almost like you could work for a company, and if all these obstacles happen and times change and this and that, you probably could still put out a final product, huh?
Who you telling? Baby.
So, I mean,
baby.
When you said that earlier this year, that you were told by somebody else that you fit project management, you are demonstrating that shit every time you put on an episode.
Yes.
Because you always run into something that we all run into. What is that, Trace? Adversity. Yes. And you're adaptable.
Yes.
So what does a manager have to do?
Exactly.
Because what always changes? People.
Yes.
Right?
Every damn day.
So every time a person changes, it's almost like when the environment changes.
Yes.
Things are not static, they're dynamic. And what's the best thing a manager does with that is they find another plan.
And they just do it.
Keep getting it done.
Bingo.
You've been doing it every episode.
Yes. Look, one of my tenets is like, I have no room for worry. So like you say, like I can only be around like-minded people who think like me, who are like, no, I'm doing this shit right now. I did this like at the end of my job, like that happened. The hurricane happened.
Oh, so let's not even do this. The manager himself is stressed because of what life is throwing at him, besides the fact that he's trying to accomplish something.
Yes.
That he wants to do.
And everything is like, no, we're not going to help you today.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what do you do? And then I was like, with this one, I'm so proud of it because I was like, lean into it.
Yeah.
Talk about how nothing is helping you today.
Yeah.
Go right back into it.
What other feedback have you gotten? Not just on this episode, but exclude me because we talk about all this shit all the time. But what other feedback besides even Trace? Because let's exclude ourselves. Well, let's exclude ourselves because we always talk about the support of other people.
Right.
And I'm gonna say exclude everyone that has worked on a project for this.
Okay.
What feedback have you gotten
from just audience?
From just the audience.
Great feedback, honestly. I have some who first were just fans of me. One of the best compliments I got from a friend was, okay, I just started listening to this because, I'm a fan of you. I get that a lot, actually, that, because I just wanted to support you. So it took me so long to get to it. Mm-hmm. And then they listened to the very first one and they're like, holy shit, you're actually really good at this. And now I just support you because this is just a show I would want to support. That's the best feedback I've gotten. And I've got it at least 3 times verbatim, just like that.
That's good.
One person even gave me fuck because at the end of my play, I'm like, if you like this, donate. And he gave me like $15.
Wow.
Because he was like, listen, I've been listening to podcasts since before it was cool, back in college, and you've got the damn thing. Shit.
And you know how many shit podcasts are out there? Remember I told you they had all these groups that we could...
The fucking tea.
We could join. No, we're not even talking about that one. I'm done with them motherfuckers. We don't care. We've surpassed shitheads like that. Those are people that just have money and they pat each other on the back and they go to their little sex parties in town and stuff like that I learned about. So I know all about it. So, but that made me lose my train of thought.
We were talking about success and, I was stuck on the sex parties too, but you were talking about...
Well, no, you tapped into something that I really thought I was over, and I'm still pissed off.
Okay. We were talking about how podcasts did not, how some failed, how they don't succeed, how there's a bunch of shit podcasts out there.
Yeah, so remember I joined these groups because it was like trying to get support, trying to get followers, trying to get new ideas and see if we're doing this, if we're just doing it where people like it.
Yeah.
And I learned I just needed to stay away from those groups. Because once again, what do we talk about? These echo chambers where everybody's just saying what they all want to hear.
Amen.
What about all the auto detailers calling each other the best?
Yeah, that's once again another echo chamber where they all just kind of nut hug each other.
Yeah.
So, but the podcast thing, I would be looking at the quality of what they were promoting, and I didn't see it there.
Right.
So, I mean... And I didn't see really good responses. It's as if they were just wanting people to follow them and not really listen to what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even though my podcast is not subject matter oriented, you're subject matter oriented. You've got something, you got a message you need to get out, and you're doing it in a very creative, understandable way. Besides somebody going to the library and reading a book and being like, I don't want to read this, it's boring. You're doing it way better. You're catching their attention and you're getting the responses from it. My thing is there, even mine, it's still giving, you can take something away from each episode from that person sitting there.
Yeah.
Yours, I mean, it's hard for me to even put into words the difference between what I'm noticing that and maybe I'm biased because I want us to succeed, but I compare it to these other ones.
No, fair. I do it too.
It's the sports ones and the political ones and
they're shit.
But really, it's just a lot of yelling at you. You better listen to this. It's my way or what. But that's not. You should not be trying to have a show about that.
No.
That's not even really being.
It's not sustainable.
No.
It's not sustainable.
You can only do that for so long.
Yes.
Look at the Trump show. It ended.
It's not motivation. It's fake energy.
Yeah. It is. It's a bunch of hype, and it's just it will take off fast and it will fall down hard and fast.
Right? Because because we did the damn work of building blocks. Like where we made foundations for this shit.
Yeah.
We made plans. I'm like, I remember Tim, like, what's the plan?
Yeah.
Like, what's our outline for this? Because you don't want to be that flash in the pan that goes, and neither did I. So it's like, it shows in our work. That's I'm biased as shit because I'm like, I can tell you put thought into this.
Yeah, there's a future for it.
Yes.
I mean, and even if my guess is completely different, the topic's going to be different every week. I think the fact of the way that this is put together and the quality that we want out of it is going to make it successful in the future.
Yes.
Who knows how long it's going to take.
Yes.
Yours, as you're learning all of this shit, you're compounding all of this stuff together. I don't even know what the fuck you're going to come up with next. You do
So that's my second. I'm glad you said that. That's the second biggest thing I get. So it's like, one, I liked this now because it's just a good show. The other is I'm confused. And it's like, well, you didn't mean it like that, but like I don't know what the fuck you're about to do next. And you know what? I like that.
But it keeps them.
Yes.
Because they want to know what's coming next.
You really, every single thing sounds
different.
different.
But how challenging is that for you?
Super challenging.
Because you have to outdo yourself.
Every single time.
But what's going to happen when you don't?
Exactly.
Are you going to be are you going to be satisfied if you don't outdo yourself?
I don't think I will. So it's like, I don't know if I'd release it if I wasn't. Because each one in some way ups the ante. So this one, it's 15 minutes and I did, again, like a whole 40-minute thing in 15.
Mm-hmm.
No, 16. The next one is 15 minutes. Didn't plan on it being that short. Actually, we can go to it. Go back, Trace.
What I worry about, though, Simon, is while he's going to that, is I worry that we might be cheerleading ourselves so much that we might be
right off the cliff.
Exactly.
And I'm aware of it, and I'm like, I've got to face that bridge when I get to it, because it's like right now, as the ideas come to me, they just keep getting better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not like it's. I don't want to say it's like I'm trying to outdo myself.
But is it
now
because
that
it's only new to you, though? That's
new.
The scary thing is because if it's new to us, so we're excited about it. We're ready to up the ante each time.
Right.
Are we really doing that, though? That's what I start thinking of whenever I do each of these edits. It's like, how is the conversation staying how it should be, which is genuine, which is interesting? Mm-hmm. Am I cutting out the right stuff? Am I not cutting out enough? I start worrying about those things, but once again, that's that OCD quality thing.
Yeah.
And it's also not trying to be biased at the same time.
Yeah.
I haven't critiqued you lately because like I said, the last 2 episodes I've not listened to. And it's because I'm stuck in trying to get this shit done.
I have to find a new job, so we feel that.
and I don't. And as I told Trace about, when we did his episode, and I had certain changes and stuff like that. It's no offense to anybody. It's just shit was just getting to a point where it built up, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I can only do so much.
Yes.
So, but what I hope with all of our content and your content, I don't know. I don't see it happening because you're out more than I am. Mm. You're around more people than I am. Mm-hmm. I've pretty much kind of stayed away from a lot of people, and I'm only restricted to my clientele. I'm restricted with David. I see Trace. So I don't know if my ideas will get better, but mind you, if I have somebody new sitting there, then it will. He's creative. Yeah. So I know what he's going to do. I wasn't sure of it. And I wished I would have never lost contact with you because, I mean, you could have truly just stayed friends the entire time, but I had my own little trepidations about, staying friends with some of y'all. I just let it go. That's just what I do. But with this one, I kind of don't know how to. I have to think about how I'm gonna say this, not to make the podcast sound or discount what I'm doing. I just know that, as I told you, I think I can carry a conversation because I'm not gonna invite anybody in here that I'm not interested in. I gotta have an interest. I would have fucking loved to have that violinist sit there.
Right.
Because my newfound love for just the sound of a violin, you could have got a tear out of me on camera. I mean, those are touching personal things about myself that people should know because I can be so cold and stoic most times. And I kind of want people to know more about me as time goes on through the podcast where they go, you know what? I know Tim is just a fucking real ass motherfucker and I've seen him do this before. So I know he really is interested. But I believe I can carry a conversation. I can carry the conversation and try to get it out of the person and still make the episode interesting. But I'm not supposed to critique what I'm doing. I'm just being myself.
Outside of yourself, though, I think you had a listenable episode. Yeah, it could have been better, and yeah, you could have gone to the topics that you wanted to, but as long as you have people in that chair, you are going to be fine. And you could do this year-round, assuming people sit.
Yeah, well, mind you, it's, 52 time, it would be 52 episodes.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough time to, decompress in between each one. Maybe if I stopped editing it though too, but I'm fine with doing it myself. I kind of want to control the content that's in there because I need it to stay genuine.
And you're good at controlling like the input your creative process needs too. Because like you were mentioning it kind of like I do get around more people, but even now recently I'm not so much. But the way you do your show and how you think and how I see your creative process happening, he's right. Like every time you get someone in this chair, you think of new shit that you can do to outdo yourself.
Well, that's what this helps for.
No, on the spot.
I'm trying.
Just on the spot. Think about how you came up with the song he needs to do. You have two ads you could have been doing this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Mountain Dew should be sponsoring you already, and the deodorant. But you needed someone else to be like to get that new idea out.
Don't think too much.
Yeah.
You think too much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm analytical. I really am an observationist, and I do observe myself.
Yeah. I made a whole character for how much I think so much, and then I gave them a voice, and that's literally how I talk to myself.
I'm able to go through your episodes as quickly as I do is because I'm like, done.
Yeah.
And I'm not going done enough. I'm going done, or I'm gonna fucking obsess over this one.
No, that's fine. But I worry because we talk about him spending and being burnt out if you do too much. I kind of.
He has to make a whole story.
Yeah.
Have you written a story?
No, I don't do that.
That's
Exactly.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm that. I don't know because my
You're
creativity
not in that
comes.
direction, but you are that creative, just not in that direction.
Yeah, I just don't have the discipline to do that type of creation, I guess.
You're not premeditated or improv.
Yeah. It is more on the spot. It is free form. It's free verse.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's because, with this, though, compared to yours, message, you have to deliver that message effectively.
Yeah. And
Me, I just need to effectively expose this person sitting in that chair.
Yeah. It's two totally different approaches.
And, since we're talking about it a little bit, I want a confrontational type of episode.
Put that in the universe. It'll happen.
He's tried already.
I've tried. They don't
showing
want
up.
to do it. Excuse after excuse after excuse and this and it would have been.
They're not really. They don't stand up for their.
They're not genuine,
But I feel like that's its own mood. So yeah, you finally got your platform to really talk about how much you hate this, hate that.
But then they're gonna ghost.
Yeah.
You're gonna ghost.
And
because you really don't fucking
really
believe that.
Exactly.
Supported the president that much.
Right?
Well, it wasn't just her either.
No, not just her, but there's a couple.
Yeah, there's two more.
Oh, so I'm just following the crowd.
Exactly. I want to stay in my echo chamber.
Right.
I don't want to expose my ideology to anybody else that doesn't think the same thing as me. So my whole, mind you, it's because I've watched fucking Howard. It's because I'm listening to Joe Rogan. I'm trying to get to that level. Maybe I'm just trying to do it too fast.
Yeah, that's a too fast thing.
You'll have.
Yeah.
It'll come.
Like your issue, kind of from what I heard you say, is I've got all these people who agree and support me, and I want someone who doesn't to fight with me on camera.
I also want the challenge of being able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, do it with friends.
Right.
Because if I can do it with a friend, I know I'm not going to lose you as a friend because I have felt comfortable where I can have that discussion with you and we can walk away amicably.
Yeah.
But then that changes, you wanting to go into that, then you come into my territory of doing something with intent and having like way more premeditated things.
No. I don't want the intent.
Okay, we'll see then, but you can't have that cake and eat it too.
I need the fire to be lit and to see how it extinguishes itself.
It doesn't by itself. That's why it's kind of premeditated.
No, I want to see what happens.
Okay, so then,
I think it's just he wants somebody with different ideals to sit there and to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can do that. Yeah, no, I totally get you. But then that takes that extra level of the forethinking of like, okay, well, now I really need a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into my territory of like, well, who is specifically available to do this? Then
Yeah.
you have to filter out. Like, it won't just kind of show up to you. Like, and then that's whenever you run into burnout, is trying to find those premeditated guests like I was trying to do.
Yeah.
To speak specifically on this and not just have like a Joe Blow.
So do you think it's just they're embarrassed to do it?
I think so.
Embarrassed to stand up for themselves?
Yeah. Because they know deep down it isn't them. Like the ones with all these like totally, like I was just talking about this with Chase, his dad.
Mm-hmm.
We went to his gay, my friend, gay wedding.
Mm-hmm.
His like Chase.
You're talking about Chase's wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
His family, Cajun, his fuck family is there.
Mm-hmm.
Will came as the little drag performer to do they fucking song.
Yeah.
Celine Dion, gay as shit wedding. It was a pride parade. And Chase's friend group was me. It was Asians. It was like Brian. It's like this giant diversity fucking parade, right?
Yep.
Bluest fucking wedding you could go to. Tell me why his parents are still on Facebook talking about, Trump support, like loves, everything about Trump. Trump, love Trump, love Trump. And I'm like, but wait, how, whenever I danced with you at his wedding next to the drag queen we all were excited to take pictures with, you don't really believe in this shit. No, you don't. You just listening to somebody else to try and fit in a crowd.
Yeah.
The oil field. They're indoctrinated, and it's like they're afraid their livelihood will be messed up if they're not.
Yeah, and all the time, same Rush Limbaugh bullshit. Yes.
But I don't understand how the realistic experience doesn't overcome that.
Exactly.
Because you had an experience that made you feel great.
Yes.
And you want to roll back into that hole of shit?
Bingo.
It's kind of like the pig goes to the market and it gets displayed. It feels all proud. Everybody's seeing it. It's clean and everything. But then the fucker wants to go back in the mud.
Yeah.
They remind me of pigs.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it because they're fat. And maybe I just said that because they're fat too. But but mainly because it's just I don't understand it. It's just like maybe they naturally belong there.
Right.
Because they don't want to go anywhere else.
So that's something I kind of explore later on too. What I wanted to get to at the end of what I'm calling my first season is like exploring these people who just be not holding to their convictions. Like, what is at the core of you as a person?
Are they really convictions then? Can you define it as a conviction then?
I define it as hurt. I feel like just deep down, you's hurt. And you are just doing all this shit to bury from the real thing that is on, like, that is in the core, which is that you got hurt. Like badly, and you don't want that ever again. But you don't realize.
But you don't know how to process.
You don't know how to process it. You don't know how to get over it. You don't know how to leave it. That's the whole point of my play. That's the whole point of this whole first season. Is this is what happens to hurt people? Because the other bit of confusion is like people are like, well, I thought it was about race. Every episode's about race.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the white race, but every episode is about race. You forget that white is a race too.
Yeah.
I had to explain that to someone. I'm like, every single character I picked was white for a reason. Because like, and I got some like college professors to help clock me on my shit. But like, this is a whole bibliography on breaking down white people. And at the core of this, going back to the very first book I used was like, The Caterpillar. Okay. Racist systems keep you guys hurt and you don't even realize it because you're incapable of like love over like conquering your fear of like wanting to fit in. The love you have for your son does not trump literally the fear you have of not fitting in.
Yeah.
That is hurt. To me, that's the definition of hurt, like right down at its core. And I love investigating that shit because I love
I'm
figuring
glad
out
you
people.
do, because from a logical sense, it's like if you're presented with a problem and you already know what the solution is and you experienced the solution of just letting go of that bullshit, then I don't understand you and you need to go away.
And so why? And I love that. I'm like, why can't you do it? You know, like
And,
why?
Well, I pass the baton to you to find out why, because I
Right.
don't care to know why. I want to know. I want you just to. You did it. So
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah, like you didn't care about it just then, so why do you care about it now that you're not in a place where you feel safe and, you know, all those eyes were off of you then, huh?
And I guess that's when I looked like an asshole whenever Trace had had to step away for a while, and you were able to talk to him more than I was, because a lot of you don't understand all that other stuff. You told me you're fine, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then we also talked about effective communication as well. For me, I'm a different little beast here.
I was like, what you mean he was fine? Did you not talk to him?
Yeah. So I mean, I mean,
it takes a type, you know, it takes a type to just want to listen and figure out. Like, people are my puzzles that I love figuring out. Like, people love crosswords. People are good at Tetris. I'm good at people. Like, I admit this with this, like, current job that I did have, you know, former job that I did have, you know, like, figuring out the puzzle of people is fun for me. It really is.
well, you want to make the whole puzzle.
I do.
I'm at a point where I'm like, oh, we got all these little.
Because this don't make sense. This isn't even in your box. Like,
But it's like once I get it all in, I'm like, okay, well, I'm done. I'm not worried about it.
yeah.
Just boop. But you're like, but okay, now we got the puzzle together.
Yeah.
Why did all the pieces get scattered out?
Yeah.
You want to do that.
And then zoom out. What is this an actual picture of?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, I got it done. Boom.
Yeah.
Rubik's. Well, good.
Yep, nope. That's how I view people. So it's like jigsaw puzzles that I just love finding pieces of and finding the right spots for. Oh, that shit's awesome.
Which is another building block of that whole thing you should be doing, which you're doing already.
Yeah.
You could technically just put it on a resume. You really can.
Yeah.
Project manager, put the description of a project manager, and then you put every job you had under it. You did this. And then under those bullet points, the accomplishments.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And boom. You're done.
Yep. I have that resume.
Maybe our biggest problem is just trying to figure out how to market what we do.
It's opportunity.
Properly.
Because, you know, again, I had like that same resume, showed it to those same people who were product managers. I was like, so this is it. I distilled everything you said, all of my accomplishments, took away the job titles, put them at the very end. I was like, here's just what I've done. You know, and they call that, like, I think a skills-based resume, I think. Yeah. And so I did that, where like all of your like the names of your job and how long you were, that doesn't matter. It's at the bottom. It's a footnote where you just list everything that you've done.
It's always about accomplishments.
It is.
What did you do for that?
What did you accomplish?
Or what did you do for the title that you held?
Yes.
Because that's going to explain to me what you can possibly do here.
And even then with that, I'm like, do you have any hesitations about this? Oh, well, no, really? Okay, so then what's stopping you? Like, what's stopping you? You know, I just need the chance to have that official title put on my resume. But I've been doing the same damn thing. I do it for fun.
Yeah.
On my off time. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep doing it for myself then, damn it.
So I'm curious as to the people that are looking at what you do. Do they even know what they're doing? Because if I was a hiring manager and you started presenting me all this shit, and if I actually paid attention to the person sitting there presenting me this evidence, I'd be like, you're hired.
Yes, on the spot, right?
Because I think I can rely on you, even though you might not know shit about this company. I believe you will dive in. You will jump headfirst in and figure it out if I give you the time.
Yep.
And just give you the policies. Because you're doing it without getting paid. Without
getting paid. And trying to figure out how to pay other people.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're assembling groups of people to support, to keep the creation going.
I have a list of about 23 actors now.
Who did it?
Now.
But who put it together?
Me. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
So
that's just and I've got 6 who are just there to help fact check me and help read books and take notes.
The most difficult part of project management because I had a little piece of it my last year at NOV when I moved into the office. I was the software engineer, but then I was also the project manager of 4 retrofits of an Insco series. All 4 of these rigs needed repackaging and everything like that. The most difficult part is assembling all the people to do what you need them to do. You done it.
Yes.
So somebody hire this guy.
Thank you.
Somebody hire this guy.
Yes. Starting salary $60,000 at least, please.
I mean, that,
At least.
it's the Louisiana.
I know. I'm like, now see,
We sinking.
but they still got all these tech people with money. I ain't seen a single tech person hurting yet. This whole pandemic.
I'm seeing more Teslas in town too, so that means these companies out of California are starting to move here.
Yeah.
2 of them actually moved here, and I'm just noticing. Hopefully that shift is going to happen, and those people are more logically driven people, and maybe they're going to want people that do some of these things that they can't do, because I think a lot of tech people can't do management.
No.
They're just like
terrible at it.
They're just like
They're very type B personalities.
yeah, square, circle,
Yep.
circle, triangle,
Yep.
triangle. But they were all in this thing pinned together. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
It's broken. Okay. That's it. But when it comes to communicating and gathering and trying to do a little bit more, they can't do it.
They can't.
So
They can't.
But that's what. Is it just people? Like, is it just the getting through that one little door?
Yep. It's all about opportunity.
And what do you think drives the we'll call you later?
Right?
What do you think is driving that right now?
Just, I think the fear of the unknown. Like, who is this unknown? Okay, you're saying this. Well,
There's
I know this
nothing
person
unknown
has
about
half of your skills, but I really know them. I don't really know. I'm going to go with this person who has half of your skill set.
Yeah.
Because I just know who this person. At the end of the day, that's what's doing it. I'm like.
It's almost like nepotism then, huh?
Almost.
Except it's not direct family related.
Yeah, no, it's frienditism or just acquaintantism.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of know this person some more than I think I know you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well then what's the even point of like interview process and these whole policies of hiring? Like if you're not going to be honest with yourselves about what you're really looking for and are willing to go to the unknown to get it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do that now, then you'll definitely hate me. Like I just started putting that out in conversations with these like past interviews I've had.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, this is how I am right now and how I, so if you don't want someone who like does this, who takes an inch and goes a mile with it, don't, because I don't want to be there in your job.
Because I don't even know where I'm going next.
Yeah. Like.
Because here we are. Did you think last year you
Nope.
would be doing this?
Mm-mm. Not at all. Not at all.
Do you think you would have last year? Would you think taking on something like, say, all of the obstacles that you had with the Wormwood episode, trying to get that out, and everything that was thrown at you, all the changes? Do you think you would have last year? You thought about it. You just would have been like, "No, I'm not gonna do that."
If I thought about that too, I was like, and goddamned if the college version of me saw what I was doing now, they'd be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
This would have taken, each of these episodes probably would have been a semester-long project.
Ooh.
I thought about that. I'm like, this would have been a semester. This would have been 4 months of my life. Just one of those episodes would have been 4 months to get the same shit happening with delays and... So that I did it in the span of 10 weeks all together, I'm like, yeah, give me your shit. And this one, because I thought about what you were saying too about filler material. And so this sets up my filler material of that's still important, but it's like, how do I get more guests with less commitment? Because I was still having that problem with people wanting to commit and trying to do anything for it. I was like, lean into it. They don't have time. Give them a minute. So I got a bunch of people involved, and I was like, I just want a minute of advice. Send it in to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But was it even constructive? Were you looking for constructive? Were you just looking for anything that they were saying in their mind about you?
Everything I do has intention. Of course it was going to be constructive because I like people as puzzles. So I was like, I want an episode about control and how to reclaim it. Because I think a lot of at the root of these issues is people are afraid of no control. So how can you reclaim control?
In what instance?
In every instant, like I'm this terrible because, and that was in my earlier episodes too, like we're angry because we want to defend ourselves from something that's difficult to deal with.
Oh.
We're afraid of things and worried about things, because those are shields to protect us from the real thing, which is like fear of lack of control, So like, I can support you at your gay wedding, but not on Facebook because then I lose control over how people see me. And my perception,
Gotcha.
Like I don't want you to be gay.
But they're playing these little games that just don't matter anymore.
They don't. But think about how it still happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want you online talking to people at night because I can't control who you're with. I don't want you dating, the same sex because then I can't really control your whole environment, what I can expect from you.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, how can little things, little ways people can take control in their lives, reclaim just like your whole day, because I've worked with too many people who had a shit day at work and were treating everybody like shit because something went wrong at home and you didn't have no control.
Yeah, that projection, yeah.
Yeah, so then you're just going to take it out on us? It's not our fault you didn't get laid.
Yeah, and that projection is not really a true representation. It's just a backlash or
It's
an
just
outlash.
backlash because you have no control in your everyday life. You know how many people I've spoken to about, I'm like the teachers who are like, the one was begging me to stay in the class because she was like, why is she always so terrible to me? Like her little like assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because she has no control. Look, she has her own autistic child at home. She's a single mom. She comes to school at working as a subordinate to you, all these others. The only thing she has control in is making your day miserable.
And she's doing it.
And she's doing it. And she was like, oh my God, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. I bet if you offered her control, she wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Do it. She wouldn't take it if you offered it because then she wouldn't have control over taking it away from you.
Because you have just walked away from that responsibility of what is expected out of her.
Yeah.
Because she can't get it out of me now because it's all on her.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's on you. Now I have to put my fucking mouth, a foot where my mouth is.
Yeah.
I got to walk the talk.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just say, oh, I plan on doing this. I want to do this. I got to do it now. Oh.
Are people just in their minds a lot?
Yeah, they really are. Up until you present them with like, here is an actual real life thing you could be doing. Here.
I think I'd rather be doing the real life thing than staying in my head.
We are. Like that's
no,
why
I know, but I'm just saying I don't understand those people either because we have a very short life.
Right? But then there's the fear of failure. And then it's out of control.
Fuck it. You know what? I did have that. I was guilty of that.
Yeah.
Up until I was 25 and I threw that shit away because I guess I grew up a little bit. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You don't know what's going to happen unless you don't do it. Unless you do it.
And then it's less the fear of failure and more the fear of failing in front of other people.
Ah, fuck that.
It's like, okay. All right, you put it out there and then it flops. Then everybody knows you as that flop. I'm like, no, they know you as the person who tried when they did shit. And I told myself that. That came from me. I was like, oh yeah, good job, Inner Thoughts. I should put you in my show. You know what, Inner Thoughts? Bingo.
There's that lemon.
Bingo.
Yep.
Bingo. Like the constant
Lessons
talking to
learned.
myself. I'm like, okay, yeah. And so that's why I did this. It's just a collection of like pieces of advice for like 1 minute. I talk the least in this because the rest is just other people's voices.
Oh.
Just like from a fitness trainer to a dog trainer, a sex educator, an actual therapist.
Well, don't go into this one because I haven't listened to this one yet.
Okay, then no.
Don't play this one. I got to listen to this when I'm paying attention.
Yeah. No, and it's just like, and that one I've gotten really great feedback from of just, this was helpful advice. Just what they were telling you, like from all these different perspectives. Framed kind of around teachers, but not really. It's just any advice anyone can use.
So when you look at all of the episodes, because you're looking at stats, so are they consistent?
No.
Do you think the same people? So what I always used to outweigh when the first day the episode launches, I'm like, if I got 20 views, it's going in the right direction.
Okay.
So are you following a model similar to that? I know 20 views is low compared to the 5 days later, there's 13 or 14,000 views.
Right.
But I just know it's going in the right direction if I get that in the first day. Do you put that on yourself in any kind of way? I mean, because what stats are you looking at? Fuck.
Because I do look at my stats, because again, like Try Again David is still going. It has 260 something.
Mm-hmm. What's the total? What's the total for the whole channel?
15. It's over 1,500.
God damn.
And I'm so proud of that. I know.
Oh, that's another thing. Dude, is there like where you see how many people are subscribed? Because I never noticed that.
No. And I wish
So it
I
doesn't
could.
tell you subscribe?
No, because they automatically download it like whenever it's released, whenever they're subscribed. So those are numbers I know I'm going to get. I know I'm going to get like 20 from
Okay.
people who actually subscribe to this.
So wait, is that number that they show when it predicts how many are going to download the next episode?
That's just, it's based off of just how well it's performed. And they come up with like, because mine fluctuates. Because one episode will get 60, the next 260,
Yeah.
the next 70, the next 184. So I'm like, And that's why I wanted to like finish my season so I could talk about it and really give everything the shine it deserves.
Yeah. Oh, then I'm gonna save a couple of things that I did want to critique on for a private discussion on what's going on with your just the audio part.
Right.
I'll save it for that because if you probably have a list, it might be something that's already covered in that list. But I'm definitely gonna ask that.
Well, real
down the
quick
road.
before I forget, I did want to play a preview of all of this culminating into what I actually wanted the show to sound like, more or less.
Oh, okay. Where's that?
That should be.
Is it this one?
One is the trailer, yes.
Untitled Project.
Yeah, I think that's it. Click it real quick, and it's what I put on Facebook. You may have seen it.
Oh yeah. Oh, we definitely got to get you. We got to get you some donors so that we don't see these things.
I can only do 3 without the watermark a month.
Oof.
I know.
Is that what's his name?
Panat.
Okay.
Mhm.
That is not what his voice sounded like in my head.
How dost thou like thyself? Not at all.
It sucks how we do that to ourselves. How we tell ourselves we don't like ourselves. Why are we so self-destructive?
I know. Well, this explores it.
Yeah. I just as many great little achievements we make, we are
Don't play it
always
yet, but just kind of click it and get it queued up.
we're always our worst enemies.
We are.
I wish I could figure out a way to overcome that because I think that stifles further.
I don't know where it's at.
It's on.
Put the
I see it.
you do?
Okay.
Okay.
Pause it right quick. Now keep talking, Tim. Why we are so
Yeah.
self-destructive.
Well, yeah, but if you think about all of the, and mind you, it might not even be the conscious thoughts, but there could be thoughts going around in our brain that are ready to come out, but we self-criticize ourselves so hard that they never really happen and they don't really become thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how much that happens because we're so self-critical.
Yeah.
And there might be like 100 great thoughts coming that we've taken in from
and they
just the
get
environment,
smushed down.
and they don't make it to being a thought
Yeah.
that we think of.
That's called your inner critic.
No, but the inner critic doesn't even exist because he's not reporting to the rest of the brain.
No, that's an
Because-
actual thing from psychology, though. That's an inner critic. That
Oh, so
thing that
that-
smashes that idea, what you just said.
So it's a department, it's a middleman that's killing it to
it's
becoming
like
a thought?
Who we create,
Oh.
like it's made up in our brains that, I can't do this.
But we don't
This-
even know what drives that person.
Bingo.
We don't even know who pays that paycheck so we can
Bingo.
get him fired.
Bingo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's a whole field of study, the inner critic.
Because that's something I always think of. Literally the last 3 years, I think of that. It's like, why?
That little voice that's saying you're stupid. You
Yeah.
know, that's, yeah.
Why
Mhm.
are you hired right now?
That sabotage.
Because I got shit I gotta do.
Mhm.
I'm only here for so long.
Mhm.
This party needs to continue, but you're fucking crashing it every time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very confused.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is a study.
That is a whole study. Look up the inner
Holy
critic.
shit. I can't do that because then there
Yo,
won't
yeah,
be
you're going down that rabbit
there
hole.
won't be a couple podcast episodes probably because I'll probably stuck in that fucking world.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a real thing.
That's it. It is real. You're not crazy. Surprise.
Holy
it's a
shit.
whole thing. It's a whole field of study. They
Wow.
have doctorates for this.
Holy fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. For that same little voice that tells you can't,
Yeah.
or you shouldn't, you won't, this won't. Inner critic.
Damn.
You're welcome. That'll be $500.
Negative.
Right?
That account is just going to be in the negative right now.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Real quick so I can break this one down. Then we can have like a pee break or something.
Damn, I can't believe that.
I know.
I am tripping.
Press play on this and I'll walk you through it.
Taken to a part of the house at last. Medlock knocked at it, and when someone together, a man was sitting fire. Medlock him. No.
Leave her here. For you.
Out and close. Very good. Stand. A play thing. Twisted in hands. She could see the man in the chair. Much a hunchback. Man with high, rather crooked shoulders. He had black hair streaked with white. Turned his head. His eyes spoke to her. Not ugly. His face would have been handsome. He had not. He looked as if the sight of her worried, fretted. Did not know.
Thought you were talking us through this.
I will in a second.
They take good care of you. Very
I am fat. An unhappy had
Pause.
blood.
All British cast. One of them was one of the voices in the play.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her, because I'm doing this book. This is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. It's based in the UK as well, in the Yorkshire moorlands. I was like, I don't have people who can do that. And the first thing UK folks say they hate about Americans is us trying to do their accents.
Yeah.
Do you know people that you can, and this is a big full circle moment, do you know people that can act for me here?
Oh, locally?
She is a friend I had on the cruise ship who lives in England.
Okay. So are you asking me somebody that's here or somebody that's
not
overseas?
You. This is me talking to her.
I'm
yeah.
like over here thinking because I do know people in the UK.
I was like, Nicola, who do you know? Because I just need people who can like do voices for me and, want to be a part of this project. Because she had worked with me then and saw what I was doing, like we very rarely communicated on the ship, because we were always hustling.
Ran to you.
She was like, hold on. 5 minutes later, she said, I set up a group of 20 people, all entertainment people from the UK. I told them about the project. I told them what you were doing. I was like, well, what if you gave them like a link to the website? Oh, I already did. And a link to the specific episode, like the play, so they can listen to that too.
God damn.
I told them about recording
What's her name
practices.
again?
Nicola.
Nicola, go ahead, girl.
Yes.
I'll
I
be
was like,
damned.
girl. Okay. And I told them to email you accordingly. Is this the right one? The Build a Better Ally? I was like, yes, baby. They sent me CVs of their work.
That's what you were telling me about.
Yes.
My God.
For these clips, for those actors.
Holy shit.
The one who specifically sent me her CV in this group isn't in this clip. But like, old girl had done some like light voice work for Nickelodeon. And I was like, okay. And they were all just like, thank you for giving me your time and attention. And thank you for doing this. And I just want to be a part of the, thank you for even considering us. I hope like it was like I was interviewing, like I'm like, wow, why are they treating me like I'm big shit? And then I was like,
because they want to be a part of that.
They want to be a part of it. And then I was like, I am big. Like my producer was like, you are big shit. You need to claim this. You are big shit.
Yeah.
And a critic, I'm not worthy of this. Oh no, you are big shit.
That motherfucker again.
Oh, you are big shit. You are worth. And then we had started talking leading into this, which is like, oh, Simon, you almost have like, no, you do have a production company.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I do.
Yep.
Oh,
The unexpected happened from something that, once again, I can't. Why am I losing my words all of a sudden? Am I having a sugar crash? I mean, you just don't know what's even going to happen with all this stuff.
Totally indescribable. The feeling of just what? Like, okay. So my shit sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
especially if they're like, I got to be a part of this.
I got to be a part of this.
And
I got to be a part of this.
And they're proud to share it.
Right? So that's better for me because it's like half the damn job is getting people to share the shit.
Yes.
Organically.
Oh.
And actors love talking about themselves. So trust, they definitely doing the legwork.
What episode was it that ran the farthest? I can't remember where everybody was sharing it and they were running. I can't remember which episode it was. It was one I listened to, but it took off and you were like, "Oh God, they are just bringing the numbers in."
The Where the Hurt People Are, the play.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I remember that happened and it was just a discussion. So I didn't expect it to go all over the place.
It went because those actors were proud. I was like, I only talked about it so much. And then I reminded people that I did it.
Is it bad that do you struggle with wanting to promote yourself and then tell yourself maybe I'm promoting myself too much?
No, I struggle with not having energy to do it in the right way. Like
Really?
just to create all the, like I have 3 social media accounts that need to be updated, like to make sure I'm everywhere. And they actually honestly do the damn thing. Facebook catches all these people who be,
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, it does it.
The algorithm don't
Twitter,
fuck you up.
I'm like, I don't have followers on Twitter, but you know what I always use Twitter for? And I learned this at the library, to reach out to people I don't know.
Oh really?
To start collaborating.
I thought Twitter was just kind of like
it was a dumpster fire for me.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
I
worth
never got it. But
using it.
But I was like, you know what? But people be talking to people on here. I reached out to 3 people who do shows I like.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, I'd love to talk to you if you ever have time. Okay. And so like 2 of them follow me now. Old musician that I used to listen to on MySpace I rediscovered on Twitter. I was like, hey, I really loved your music back then. Did you still make more?
How the fuck do we make a maybe I should do a Twitter just for the podcast and
I use it to reach out.
And reach out to. Oh, I'm just saying because I don't have. We made the podcast to promote you, and then of course maybe I'm interesting enough that they go, oh well, I'm gonna go check out Tim's work, and then of course the second thing was I want your audience to know who I am and maybe do business with me. So there's no like real place to just talk to the podcast, besides anyone at Intersections.show.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if I should just make a Twitter, but I really don't want to fucking manage all of that.
Okay,
but
but
I hate to say, I'm like Rogan. I want to talk directly with people I'm interested in, but it's overload.
It is. And that's why I'm like, I don't have the energy to maintain all of that. Facebook is more performative. It's like, I just need to post this. But Twitter, it's like direct conversations with people. And I use that for people I don't know. Facebook and Instagram for the people I do.
Okay.
Hootsuite, yeah. You can schedule everything on it. It's like a social media management. But I still got to create all the content for each bit of social media.
But that's the thing. It's okay to have something disperse it out.
Yeah.
I'm fine with 10 accounts. But the problem is you got to cater the content for each platform. Because you can't do the same thing for Facebook that you do for Instagram.
You really
Even
can't.
though it's owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to cater it to that audience. And I see I burn out, and that's why I don't have something just for Intersections. I did make the page, and everything is there, but oh my God, to have separate social media accounts for that?
And at the same time, it's like I keep saying, man, I should really cut off one of these. But then one of them does something I need them to do.
And it's like, fuck.
Yeah. Like, again, Colombian friend. All her people liked me on Facebook. And then they could find the show through Instagram. If I didn't have the website, I'm so glad I set up that website.
Yes. You need the catch-all. That's a catch-all.
It is. Because that's my YouTube, is going to the website. So I'm so happy that I took that, from the very beginning.
Yes,
and did all that shit.
Because that is the most important thing is a website. I hate to say, even though people go, they're outdated. Use the apps. No. Because what you do is you give them that link and they can go anywhere they want from it if they're interested. They want to listen to the audio, you got the embedded player. They want to dig deeper to find out where you are. They know the name of it and they'll go to their podcast website or whatever it is to follow you and get the alerts and do all that other stuff. That's I just think that the website was the most important thing. I'm glad you did it too.
And I'm so happy it had the right touches from my friend. Like whenever he rebooted it, just on, here's one to be proud of.
Yeah.
You know?
And we just can't stop talking about it.
Yes.
And we look at it all the fucking time.
So now for next steps, like I'm learning how to write a song because what I'm going to call my season finale, because I know I'm going into all this new modes of work and everything after that, is going to be kind of like a musical. The idea of it is going in my head one more time to have like this wacky Broadway nightmare where like people are like singing and dancing and I can't fucking stand that shit.
I'm just better with just winging everything.
Yes.
Because as soon as I put the pressure on, I turn the fire up. It's like, whoa, everything just goes poof.
Premeditation is a killer.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I definitely couldn't do content-based related. I need to get the message across type of thing.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying
and maybe
to
my message is just completely different.
And I have to make sure like all my ideas trace back to something. So like everything I've been saying, like how it goes back to this episode, goes back to, I have to keep that in mind as I make, like, how does this build? Because that was also feedback I got was like, how is this still about the show? Like, you know, I know that you're trying to do like different things, but is
then
like,
they're just not thinking about what's actually being put out there. They're not seeing what's blossoming from it.
Right. And no one has like end goal in mind. Because just like how I had to do with my actors and show them what I was doing, like, so too do I have people who are supportive, who are working with me on it. They're like, I just, you know, like you got all these like crazy like soundscapes and everything that you're doing and relating it all the way back to the, like, are you still doing that? I'm like, yes, I am.
It's there. You didn't see it for those 15 seconds of a performance?
Yeah. Well, I was like, yeah, no.
And with all of that going on, everything that we've been doing, how much free time do you have?
I say no to so much. Parties, just going out.
Really?
Movie nights. Mm-hmm.
So you think now that you're just driven in a different kind of way to get just shit done instead of just using distractions and procrastination?
I think I definitely deserve recharge time and just time to have fun with friends. I think I don't have it because I am the only one who can do everything that I'm doing.
See, the reason why I asked this is because I was asked this by, I came across somebody, because I still have, there's the nights I still have the random chats with the people on Scruff. And I'm chatting with a guy, he is a psychologist, the MD, he's a medical doctor. And he was like, what do you do for spare time? I was like, what spare time? And literally because I talked to him is what triggered my week-long Valhalla trip. Because he did make me realize I wasn't spending time just stopping. Yeah. Stopping everything because it was strange. It's strange to listen to somebody from that app and take them seriously.
Amen.
And I did. And I realized I got too much. I don't have any more burners on this fucking stove. Yep. I'm starting to stack pots on top of pots. Yep. Because I keep putting stuff on myself because I don't feel productive in one space. Yep. So I'm like, I'm going to create something to be productive in. And then all of a sudden this kicks off again. And it's like, oh my God. And you're juggling and you don't even have enough hands because you picked up 8 balls now.
Right. And then I wonder if you feel this too. Like, you know, because it's a big thing whenever I do get some kind of free time that I'm like, I feel guilty because I should be making something. I should be doing something. Yes. I should be being productive.
Why am I not working on this when I know it's not completed?
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's
even another thing was doing something simple as yesterday, as in I got so busy I wasn't even registering client warranties, which is very important because it goes on their Carfax and everything like that. And I'm talking about this has been since May. I didn't do the simple thing of taking the extra 15 minutes to do that, and I had to spend 3 hours yesterday morning at the shop, which also then triggered out what's weird about that. When you really feel like you've let yourself down and you didn't do what you're supposed to do and you come to realize it, then you force yourself to do something extra, which made me make a video thanking everybody for supporting me because I felt so guilty of neglecting doing something simple as putting a warranty in. That's when you know you're doing what you should be doing. Because you kind of walk around with this self-guilt that you're not doing it the best way you can.
And that's partly inner critic again, too. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, wait, you know, because I dealt with several types of that guilt. I was like, shouldn't I be like, especially whenever I was like leaving the job. Oh God, especially because those parents weren't letting me go nicely. lots of tears. And I'm like, okay, I feel so much guilt admitting that my heart's not here. It's with me in my show.
Yeah.
And I need time and bandwidth to focus on my show because I'm just coming home every night off this goddamn terrible schedule with no pay, really.
Yeah.
And I understand that battle of just like, now I feel like I need to do extra shit on top of what I'm doing. And I'm like, no, I would like to just play a video game and not have to worry about like the million other things in my brain that I think about that just need doing right now. And if one of those things has to go as these kids and this job, then it's going to go because I know I'm good for me and an investment in my future. I don't need to keep doing this work to feel like a good person or
because it's the traditional structure of getting to where you need to go.
Bingo. Because it's not. I'm like, this whole field and all of it, like I said goodbye to all of it. I did. I was like, this is, because at first I was just measuring this as like, as long as these kids say yes to me, I will be in their lives. With everything I've worked with kids, the whole of it. And then I'm like, that's stupid. A kid will, like dogs and you, they'll always be in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's stupid, Simon. Let's redefine measurements of success here.
Yeah.
And then I did, and I was like, okay, no, this job just got to go. It's not going to pay me more. The promotion is not going to happen, and if it did, it wouldn't be nearly enough. It wouldn't give me $2 that I know I'd be worth.
Yeah.
One friend, it was like 17 cents. I was like, what, after a year?
No. It's not worth it.
No.
And especially when you're not valued and you see the devaluation of people when you have something like a pandemic, because then they just drop everybody like a hot potato so that they can claim some money and just keep their profits, to keep that profit margin up. So let's just dump the people.
All the assistants are gone. There's like a backlog of how much they need to be reimbursed, like our supervisors who buy materials for the kids and stuff.
Well,
I'm like, y'all ain't got no money. So how am I going to stay here? I already got no money. I know that. Why am I stay with you when you ain't got no money? And why am I stay here and be burnt out and not have time to do shit that actually is making me it's setting myself up for success in the future. Like the longer I can't work on my show and come home after a day of you jumping on my back.
Yeah. It's not helping me build what I need to be building.
And I felt guilty about that. I was like, why do I feel guilty about me first? If I can't be good enough to do this work to begin with, what's the point in helping them? And I don't need to keep sacrificing shit in my own life, especially my own life.
Yeah.
For something that's ultimately not going to pay me back. Like,
nope.
At the end of the day, it's just not. And I'm like, that doesn't make me a bad person.
No, you're just actually starting to analyze it and figure it out. And it takes us a little bit longer. But so seeing that you have that guilt for that, do you find yourself, when you have spare time, you think of all the people in your life that you want to talk to?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty you don't talk to them?
As in, I think of all the people, I do feel a tiny bit of guilt, but I'm like, as long as my show is happening, as long as my season is going, only the people necessary in my life are the ones that I'm definitely trying to talk to each day. But if we have like a bond, if we have a connection, I ain't worried about that shit.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Well, this was my dilemma lately, which also crashed into everything else when the psychologist said time for yourself and what you want. It starts making you think of the things that you were chasing after. And I was chasing after people all the time. And that was a lot of waste. I felt guilty that I wasn't even doing that. But then I was like, let me weigh that versus where I've come when I let go of that.
Yeah.
And I've come way farther.
Yeah.
But still in the back of the mind, it's like, I still want to reach out. So why reach out if I already know the benefits of not reaching out have outweighed anything I've done over the last 2 years?
I mean, we're human. We miss contact. We miss socializing.
Yeah.
That's just a human need.
So like where I am right now is I feel guilty that I will seek out to speak with people, but I stop them. And I'm like, I'm done with you. So now I've started using people for my spare time for convenience. I've turned into what I didn't like other people doing. I've turned into a little monster because I was like, I can get that little bit of pleasure of reaching out, getting that need fulfilled of somebody to talk to. And when I'm done, I'm done. I never used to like that with people. But I feel I'm starting to develop it because I'm guilty that I have not been reaching out. But then the part of me that says the benefit of not reaching out is better because you might invest too much time in this person and they're not going to be there later on anyway.
Well, my thing is...
So that's a cynic as well working.
So my thing is like, did they reach out to you?
No, I actively reach out to them.
And have they ever reached out to you?
No.
Okay, so then no, not worth it. I reached out to you. Like, after how many? After a year or so?
Yeah, but you miss speaking with them is the problem. You miss some of the type of conversations that were had, you know?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, if it was meant to be, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it isn't a one-way street. Like, you have to be wanting to come meet me too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, besides that feeling, what ultimately stops me from doing it with new people, like making new bonds and connections and things like that, is because I know that I get the results off of what I put out, and that I know new people are not going to be interested in what I'm doing. Unless they're just interested, unless they want to hear the content, and that's about it. I don't think anyone will invest the time because so much is out there. They don't have time for new friendships. They don't have new time for relationships. They don't have new time for any of that because they're out there doing their own soul searching and seeking and everything. Nothing is really seriously taken because you can put yourself out. And this is even with the people that I know. There's some people that I've known since high school didn't even know I had a podcast. It was like, but we're connected on social media and I promote that podcast so much every week. You don't know I have a podcast?
right,
So what are we doing?
right.
Exactly. I know. I'm working through my thoughts right now.
You're on your own train of thought.
Yeah.
You're in your station like I am.
Yeah. So I understand.
It's busy in there, huh?
I understand. I understand the humanity of myself and wanting to keep those connections and keep some warmth inside. But then at the same time, I don't mind fucking adding another 10 layers of bricks so that I can achieve this ultimate goal that I know I'm good at.
See, and I'm like, I don't really see that as using people if it's like if you're reaching out for the show or like, if anything, I rekindled and recovered so many relationships in my life because of it.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm saying, like I hadn't talked to old girl who played the boy in my play since we added each other back in 2014.
Holy shit.
2015, like whenever I had that job. And we ain't really said much to each other since because our lives had nothing to do with each other.
Gotcha.
Versus people I haven't talked to since fucking college. Like, but I need them now because like you, I'm like, I remember you had this skill set.
Yeah.
I'm doing this now. Help me. And then I rekindled I'm like, oh man. So like whenever I made that play, that was me talking to all my old friends who I hadn't like, and it gave us all the chances like in between me, like giving them voice direction and stuff to just talk one-on-one. I'm like, well, where are you in your life now? What you doing besides this? I saved so many of those. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that you really were like this great of a friend. Like,
but damn, the paths went that way and mine went this way.
Yeah, and this created like a fantastic road trip in my own life to just go back to those old people.
I also think for you too with this is they knew your personality was this way.
Yeah, they clocked it.
And they knew the struggle and they were like, he's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And now they see when you invested the time in yourself finally.
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe I need to realize that the people that I am reconnecting with that are kind of engaging a little more once they find out, even though they didn't lose track of me because they always had a connection with me. It's just maybe I have to think of that. Maybe if they do respond greatly and they go, oh, yeah, that actually is pretty cool. I didn't think you'd actually do anything like that. He goes, but maybe I should just take that in instead of just letting them eat them bricks.
Yes.
Because I'm not taking it in.
You'd be surprised how many people want to help you. It's as many people who want to hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just wisdom to decide between the two.
Yeah, you're right. We do make those choices. And I think I make the choices of you're not getting close to me again.
Right. And I had to do that. I was like, okay, I have to let people help me because I cannot do it alone. I have to. And whenever I admitted that I had no control, one of the advices on the thing, I was like, okay, now let me accept what I do have. And I've always just been like, well, like for the Wormwood episode, the voice who I finally do get on the show is from a friend who I hadn't talked to since the ship, who was listening to every episode and reached out to me.
Holy fuck.
In an email and was like, I love what you're doing and I just love everything that you're saying and I agree. Like, wasn't looking for anything except just to give me that review.
The feedback, yeah.
And I was like, you know who I think you should, like,
yeah.
You want to be here, so you're gonna be here on this journey.
Yeah. Can you jump off that ship and get on this one real quick?
Bingo.
And I'll bring you back to yours.
Yeah, and she did. And I was like, and that's how. And I'm like, I just didn't even. And we were super close on the ship, but you know those. When you're not on a ship, you understand. When you're out the loop of like your stations, you know, like where you're stationed somewhere and you don't see those people again. Yep. He was like, you may never see them ever again in your life.
It's kind of like a out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. But whenever you're there, oh shit, yeah, you're super important to me.
Yep.
That never left, and that just got
so
stronger.
Maybe that's the same thing as the close friends that we have that we know are gonna leave. And we know they're going to have their own lives, but you know as soon as you see them again, it's going to go right back where it was from the last time you saw them.
Bingo.
So maybe I should just treat it like that then.
And if they introduce you, like that's how I've been doing my thing. It's like these people who I've kept with me this whole time. If they introduce me to someone new, like each of these actors has, like the British one who gave me all these.
God, he assembled an army.
An army. I was like, well then, if she vouches for you, okay, then you good people. I can, we can fuck with each other. Yeah. Like. We can hang,
Once again, it's that fucking self-doubt shit. I think that's that little critic again.
Yeah, you got to turn that off.
He must have he must have an assistant that does something else that helps him achieve his goal, because I think that's what I'm fighting with.
The 24/7. Someone explained it to me like this. You have to imagine those old school movies where these kids just be playing outside and they got that old man who's always yelling at them. Get off my ground.
Yeah.
That's the inner critic. It's like, would you listen to that if you was one of those little kids listening to that? Who listen? So then,
why keep kicking the ball?
Exactly, and that's exactly what you need to frame your. Oh, you're just that old man in the attic, shouting, just being crazy. Go be crazy, old man.
That's something.
That'll be 500 more.
I rang up a big bill this time. No.
Yeah, again, new connection from old
Yeah. My friend Ryan, I just messaged because I gone.
Yep.
Well, how did you find out about him? Is that through the Ryan person? Okay.
Yeah, shout out Ryan.
Yeah. From
Ryan.
High school.
Ryan, you just made this happen. No, you didn't make this happen. You didn't put in this hard work, but you got the people connected,
but he reached out
and we ran off
with
doing
the show. Yeah. And he was like, I was like, oh man, I need some help film. But he was like, I know someone who kind of helps. Trace. And then that's how Trace popped in. So I'm like.
And now we worried about when Trace disappears.
Right.
Things like that.
Also,
the gay dad's taking
like
care of him.
10 or so weeks that he's been alive too. Like no,
more than that.
18 weeks. All together, I think.
We'd have to go look at text message to find out.
Well, I'm remembering because that's whenever I first. Early July, because that's whenever I put out my pilot, like officially on a platform. So I have that date there, and I counted 18 weeks from whenever I submitted my pilot in July to now.
I could say we could go look back and see when the first episode came, because that's when I first met you, of course. And I might have just started talking to you maybe 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
Because I was
see how fast?
No, it might have been a month before, because I was still waiting on equipment.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
Isn't it?
It's fucking nuts how that works. I don't understand what people do with idle time then. Now I don't understand what idle time is.
I think it's just, I call it recharge time. Where like I just give myself permission to not. Like I ain't got to fix everybody's problems. What good does worrying about I can't fix it all right now. I can't fix it in an hour. All I'm doing is stressing about it and doing nothing but stressing.
What's sad is it took somebody to tell me, what are you doing for yourself? Which is why I feel I need to reach out to the people, because I need to hear the things that I don't like hearing. And I'm not saying it's nothing that you've said that I not liked or disliked.
Right,
or
no.
anything I'm just saying maybe I need the other people that I had lost those connections with to finally say
now
these
when
things.
My next episode comes out, you'll love it, because that's exactly why that woman was asking her, well, how do you like yourself? It's the same questions like those.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, mind you, it doesn't overall make me think I'm a horrible person or anything like that. It's just
Right.
these are little things we start thinking about that we're taking advantage of not being in control.
Yeah, you could have had control over it.
Because I could have easily managed all of that better, and I didn't. And I let it out of control, and now I'm thinking about it, and I feel guilty about it.
Well, you know, procrastination, we do that whenever we feel overwhelmed. It's our body's way of shutting down to be like, or else you will combust and just break down, and it'll be like, oh, where'd you go for the pass? Yeah.
And that's why I had a week of getting high playing Valhalla.
Right.
I got it when you told me.
Yeah, because I mean, good Lord. Well, I mean, Trace's episode, we got to upload it, and I launched it on Friday, and I just was in that thing of, I got to get it out. He's busy. Boom, he's gone. I just need to get this out because it needs to stay consistent. I got to do all these car videos because I just let myself down.
Right. I remember you telling me whenever I was seriously like upset that it was taking me so long to get my play out.
But it goes to show how imperfect we are, because I can give you that advice and I can easily forget
you were like,
about it.
Why are you trying to compete against all these people, Simon? Who are you trying to compete against? So why is it so important that you release it right now? You can calm down. You told me this.
I know. That's why I know that.
Yeah.
We're just fucking human. We're just trying.
Yeah.
But I think
it's different when you're in it.
We're fucking doing it though. And we are just we're imperfect, and we have moments.
And then it's like, you know, I always carry the weight of the people supporting me too. I'm like, I got you, I got him, I got all these actors looking at me like who know I do this good who are expecting the next thing. And then it's like those expectations kind of crush me sometimes.
Yeah. And then you kind of have to back off because you can't appease everybody.
I can't. I'm like, well, I got to start off with with just what works.
Fingers crossed I don't play Valhalla all week next week.
Or that you just give yourself an hour to play each day.
Child, do you know what it's like to only play an hour?
Give you 2 days out of the week.
2 days out of the week then.
Just go ham. Fuck everything.
Because you deserve it. And you need it, or else you'll spend a week doing it.
Where something else will get fucked up.
Right? You know you will burn out again, and you will spend a week doing nothing else and then feeling worse because of that week.
No, literally did not vacuum husky hair until the same night I was editing. Because when it started encoding, I was like, wow, this husky hair was everywhere.
So that's how you have a meltdown. That's what that's called.
But it's not the TV show meltdown where it's, pull my hair out. It's just like, holy shit, backlog.
It's the psych definition of one. Here's what happens. You could not function.
I guess we're so used to seeing the actual visual cue of a meltdown instead of just seeing it actually play out through the actions of what we do. And I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I'm very aware.
That's accurate, because of inaccurate depictions of it, we don't know what a meltdown really looks like, because it looks like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
And you just leave. And you just walk away. Yeah. Like, that's what it looks like. Like, I always thought my meltdowns would be like, I'm flipping the table.
Yeah, because we're animated.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's the exact, I shut down. I get cold. And I'm like, I guess I'll leave. And I'll just, it's like this space.
Oh,
I just like walk away. I'm like my grandma in church.
So how guilty do you feel guilt that you put so much energy? Because I'm going to get rid of guilt, because this is this last topic of guilt. Because I know I spent a lot of time, because now I'm starting to think of friends. I'm worried that I'm going to feel guilty that I'm not in a relationship with anybody.
Oh.
And do you feel guilty that you're not doing that part of your life? Not saying that you should be, not saying that I should be, but I'm wondering if that guilt's going to come down the road, because you just said you want that connection. I'm already looking for the connection of friends that I used to have, and I miss them. Do you think that that's going to sneak up on us? That's going to be the next thing? But I think we're too busy to actually do it.
Well, for me, it's not guilt. It's just disappointment. Like, it's not like I don't have the spare bandwidth for it. I just have no opportunity for it. Like, I don't get good.
Well, I bring it up because if I'm chatting with the old connections from Scruff, there's two people I only know how to connect with through there, and it's weird how they're still there 2 years later. It's weird. So it's like, are you going anywhere in life? Should I even be here trying to talk to you? Like, literally open the app so that I could connect with them to see where they were in life and just reestablish that. So I'm wondering, I guess this is the human emotion again. I'm fearing that I'm seeking that without even knowing it, when I know I don't have time for it.
But you know you need it. Like kind of
but
like
who's
eating.
to say you need it though?
I mean,
I kind of feel like, remember how I always said the door's closed? I tell Devin that all the time. The door's closed. It's technically never always closed. We just choose to ignore it. That's why I fear that I'm starting to do that. Because, if you're on an app, you're available, people are going to start messaging you for a reason. You know?
That's how you know you need it, is because you have that fear.
But I don't want that.
I mean, but that's your body's instinctive reaction. That's not on you. That's not on the you that thinks. That's subconscious. That's everything that just like breathing. Like that's just happening in the background. Like, and that's fair. Like we're humans. Like we're designed to be by nature.
Well, then is that just a fear that you're going to get the same bullshit that you were used to or that you always got?
Well, that's a whole separate fear from like wanting to like admit that you want someone is its own thing versus not the fear of falling into a bad situation again. That's different. That's different. Like, it's okay to be like, oh, I want someone. I'm lonely. That's why my character's like, that's why I specifically picked her, is because she's like, I'm lonely. Wait.
So she could actually get that feeling.
Yeah. She's like, oh. And it's important because she's like, I never realized that before. Because she's so busy doing.
Yeah.
And she's just like, she takes this moment. She's like, because someone said the word lonely to her. Not even about her. It just triggered like how your thoughts get triggered.
Yeah.
Watch some robins fly away. Watch one stay behind. Why this one? What happened to the rest? Oh, they went away, but this one stayed because he realized he was lonely. I'm lonely.
Yeah.
That's okay. Versus, oh shit, whenever you are talking to someone, I'm really afraid that I'm going to fall back into a bad habit again.
Well, I don't think I could fall back into bad habits. It's just the quality of dealing with low quality.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
That is the thing I worry about. If I decide to open that door all the way and be like, okay, let's start trying this, then you wasting your time on the low quality.
Yeah. No, I just don't waste my time on low quality. So I'm like, so that's why I don't have fear. I have disappointment. I'm like, I'd really like to have someone to help share this burden I deal with.
So with the spare time that you have and it's not spent doing what I have started doing, because you're around more people. I think that's the reason also I'm doing it, is because I'm not around a lot of people. I see David and that's it. I can't even see my mom. So that connection I have with my mom, and I believe because of the rejection of no holidays this year, I can't even get that hug from her. So I'm wondering if it's building up and it's creating something that I don't even want to deal with.
Well, then that would be on you to break it then. Starting with hugging people on your own terms again.
I can't do that because mom gets the hug first.
Okay, we'll see. And is it going to happen?
Because once again, that's that whole control over knowing I know she loves me unconditionally. Why am I going to hug all these people when they might not? Even though I could love them unconditionally.
You should pay yourself $500. You did it yourself there.
But once again,
well, you just answered your question.
I know.
Several questions.
I know. I'm very aware of some of the thoughts that I have in my head. And I think that's something that I want people to understand is, okay, I'm just like you. You're just like me. We're struggling through these little thoughts, even though we're busy.
Yeah.
And we're not filling, because I thought I was just filling the time.
No. Then you wouldn't have been productive. You wouldn't have cars in the shop. You wouldn't have the show posted.
Exactly. So, I mean, we all have these weaknesses. And I think right now it's just a weakness of the fact that I can't hug my fucking mom. It all boils down to that.
Yeah. Isn't it always like a simple thing? It's a little thing.
Yeah.
That mean big. That's why I was like, let's learn about how to regain control in little ways.
Yeah.
Because those little ways come out in big ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
look how it's manifested. I just want to hug from my mom and look at all this.
I know.
To the point where you have a shutdown because you can't hug anyone else. Because like,
it's got me on a Scruff app talking to people that I probably wouldn't even want in my house.
And does she know that? Does she know like, Mom, like I haven't hugged anyone
But
else.
I don't think she is concerned about that because she's more concerned about her health. She can stay on track. She can be more stoic than I can be because she's to the point where she knows that I am the only one that loves her. Because she's casted her own family away. She's finally casted them all away.
Wow.
She knows that, but she knows her health is more important than getting that hug from me.
So then my thing is like a COVID test and a negative result and showing it to her doesn't clear all this up?
I don't think so.
So then there's something else.
No, I don't think there is. she's got a very old-fashioned mentality. The best way to not have the problem is to not expose yourself. If I stay in my box until there is a solution, a guaranteed, like, she's literally waiting for a vaccine.
Okay, so that's collateral damage that she's causing on every other like thing in her life, including you. That's collateral. I'm like, okay, if the immediate, because the way I'm seeing it is logically, if the immediate need is, I don't want to get COVID, I want to be safe and prevent getting, well, then I will take a test, and if I have COVID, I won't see you.
Mm-hmm.
I've done every preventative measure I can that makes logical sense. Now we're getting to illogical sense, which is where you like, no, I don't do that. Like,
I'm not mad at her though, and I'm not gonna push her to do anything she doesn't want to do.
Right.
And I guess that's the only person in my life I won't do it, and maybe that's why I'm so hurt, is because I probably could have a solution to doing it, and I'm not doing it because I just want to respect my mom.
Yeah.
I don't want to drag her through and have an argument. And I'm to the point where I don't even want confrontations anymore. Remember I said a long time ago, I'd be happy to have that confrontation. I used to thrive off of it. I mean, I gave my dad a stroke for confrontation. I wanted to see him mad. So all of that stuff, I've let go of all of that. So that's why I'm wondering if you had any kind of guilt that you were dealing with something similar to that, dealing with what we're dealing with now compared to how we've refocused energy on new projects and new things and staying busy. And it's not that we're staying busy to fill in time. It's just the whole fact that we've done it because maybe we've lost some connections, and there's got to be an underlying reason for that. You know, I don't know if you have that type of guilt.
Sometimes, because I'm like, you know, if I had had the time previously, I would have like done the work and made up with Alex by this point. Right. Like, he's just one example of just like, okay, we have like this disagreement. You know, usually I am the type to reach out first and just handle all this. But because of job, this, everything else, I hadn't. And then I was like feeling guilty about not fixing that. And I was like, let it stay broken.
Yeah.
Because
it takes two.
It takes two. And if you really wanted to do it, you'd be doing it. It'd be a two-way street. Like, I got tired of being the one to initiate everything. And I'm like, I'm initiating enough and for me now. So no, I don't feel guilt about that anymore. I'm like, again, I have no room for worry. If all you are is just worry for me. Yeah. I have no, like, because you can't stay on this with me. Like, I'm going places. Yep. I'm doing shit.
There's no room if you're not
There's
ready.
no room. There's no room. And I don't want to say like I can't deal with like issues or personal problems people have, but just like if you ain't trying to progress,
bring me something to the table so that I can add to it.
Yeah.
Bring me a table at least.
Bring a table. If all you want to do is harp on the same damn thing for years now, okay, bye. Stay there with your years. Stay there in the past where I will leave you. And whenever you want to get the fuck up, get up and come back and see me. I'll be here.
So, you know, the last thing on that little topic then that I'm curious about what's going with your thought process is, can you understand the people that aren't doing some of the things that we've decided to do?
Yes.
You cannot understand them, or you can?
I can.
I can't. I don't understand how a person can't take that lemon and actually make a fucking great lemonade fucking cocktail out of it.
Right. It goes back to hurt people, which is why I wanted to focus on that. My play and then the song that I'm making is like really bringing out a lot of my own issues too for it. So like my own brother, blood brother, we don't talk. He wants nothing to do with me. I want nothing more to do with him. It's all about me being gay. I mean, that's just what happens.
That is the most petty, stupid thing, because it's not like you tried to make him gay.
No, it's just about you know.
It's like if you don't like being gay, don't be gay.
No, it's about, and it's also about black and shame. Whenever like you know. Whenever you're gay and black, okay,
I
now,
know.
So you know that?
Yeah, we had a discussion about that. It's like it's even tougher because you're excluded from the inclusive community because that's not what they prefer. Yes. And why? Is there a real reason?
No.
There's no real reason.
There's no real reason.
I mean, I understand okay, you may have an attraction to a type of personality.
Right.
But you can't say you have an attraction just to a skin type.
Right. That's racism.
Exactly.
So, and on top of that, in our own black community, we still fuck each other over all the time. Oh, you're not black enough. Oh, you too black. Yeah, right.
I got that, which is why I have very few black friends. My dad used to ask me, why you not having Dad, because
they like you.
Because they don't want they say I'm not thug enough,
right?
Or bullshit, you know, or they say I work too much,
right?
Or they say, why did I not just take advantage of this, or whatever culturally stereotypical society has made out of black people. Yeah, they want to see that in all black people. Not man
enough, not mean enough,
exactly,
not tough enough. Oh, I got all those.
Speaking of mean enough, I watched that Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Blah, 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 while I was waiting for y'all. I'm sorry, Roy Jones Jr. lost. They were like, that's a draw. No, Tyson was hungry and Tyson was throwing the blows. I know y'all probably don't follow all that, but god damn, I was waiting for that fight. Holy shit, I was so happy about that. Tyson won that motherfucking fight. They shouldn't have gave out a participation trophy to Roy Jones Jr. You got your ass whooped. You were tired. And you don't even want to fight again. He even said it. He goes, Tyson hit hard. Tyson's like, we doing this again. I'm like, oh shit, this 57-year-old motherfucker ready to knock his head off. So yeah. I was just curious if you kind of held the burden of just some of the little guilts.
And I mentioned my brother too, because like we recently cut ties 2018. Before I came out here to do all this ish, because I'm like, I'm not bringing this with me.
Oh, wow.
You know, like we just, and it's
what
like.
What does your mom think of that, though?
I mean, it's tough for her, because like she has to be a mom, she has to be neutral. But like all my Thanksgivings and Christmases, I'm by myself now. Like I come home and I visit
So when you were home just now, you didn't see your brother?
No, he's in Texas with his family.
When is he going to see mom then?
Separately. They just come at a different time, and she just kind of keeps the peace. And that's been the past 2 years. It's like, and even grandma with dementia knows something's up, because I'm only here when everybody else isn't. The grandkids, his wife. I'm like, so whenever I made that decision to like not stay where you are, which is in this hurt place, like I left. I'm like, no. And then like I was so angry with him up until I made this play. And even now, as I'm making this music, I'm making a whole song about it. I'm like, actually, it's more just pity and it's sadness, you know, because like at the end of the day, you are these people I wrote about. Like you are just another hurt person. And the moral of that play is like, you know, you stay with these people, you stay with the millionaires, you know, you stay with the, you know, the people who is doing the same thing with the people who hurt. You just gonna be hurt until you realize I could just choose not to be here.
Yeah.
That's a powerful moment. And so now every time I see them, I see a racist, I see someone who's out there just acting an ass. I'm like, you're just a hurt person.
Yeah.
That's how I can understand you now. It's like something hurts you. And now you're just there and you decide to stay hurt in this hurt place where you don't realize you have the power to leave it or
to go somewhere else. Yeah.
Because of your own little inner critic saying, oh, no. I'm like, okay, so you're chained in this place that you did yourself. You got the key yourself you can unlock and get out. Yeah. And come get to know me. Come get to live your life. Go be better. Progress.
Are majority of those people hurt? Are they even aware, though? That's going to be the next thing.
No.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work on it. And I want to move past it. And there's these little things that I just say, I'm not going to approach it. I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to do this. And it's not for my sake. It's just, I'm going to leave them alone.
Right.
I don't want to, push the boundaries because I kind of know where it's going to go.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle. And I mean, it's good that you don't have those things. I think you just understand it more because you work with people a lot. You're just working with the kids.
I work on myself a lot.
Okay, well, okay.
That's why.
But how long have you been doing that, though?
All my life sometimes. But then, I did get a therapist way back in 2014 because it's like a dentist. You go your whole life without a dentist. They're going to find some shit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's the same thing. If you don't do the same thing for your mind, okay, all that shit piles up. And that's when I learned about things like the inner critic, you know, like from my actual therapist. Fuck. Like that shit's important. I'm like, oh, so because then I would have still been like you, like, why do I still have this voice? No matter what I do right, you just right there. That's why. Like,
son of a bitch.
That's what led me to doing therapy is because I'm like, oh, more people just kind of need to kind of get out of this. I'm like, so much of it is a choice. So much of it is under our control. And then I'm just
so do you spin any of that into your episodes?
Every single one of them.
I was going to say, I catch on to it. Everyone I listen to is trying to help those that may be struggling a little bit, even though the main message is, stop hating people
Yeah.
over some petty bullshit.
Yeah.
But
Let's figure out why you did it in the first place.
Yeah, you're once again, that's your whole, I need to know why. Let's see where we can go with this, and let's break it apart, and let's get you on a better path type of situation.
Right.
So where do you think you're going to go? You said this season's going to end.
Yes, I have one more episode after Secret Garden that I know I can finish with all of me, and it would be great.
Mm-hmm.
That one's going to be like a musical themed episode, because I'm like, a musical is a great way to just end anything.
Here's 4 weeks of work that he's got to put in.
Yep. Which all got easier.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I churned out one episode week by week. I'm like, no, I'm going to save it and save, this one just took long because I didn't have the interview. But otherwise, in record time, I'm like, wow, I wish I could go back and do my play again for the first,
No, building blocks. You see the growth. That's what I love about it, just with the videos. People are like, how'd you know to do this? And it's like, go back to 2016 when I decided to actually put myself in front of the camera and challenge myself to do something different.
So much of you just gets revealed.
Yep.
Because of everything you want to put into something.
Yep, exactly.
So after this, after I finish my season, after I finally have a body of work to talk about, I plan on doing the work I already knew how to do but didn't have the time to do, the energy to do, which is market it. And like really start talking about it, reaching out, shopping it, submitting it to places that I know it could be submitted.
You gonna hire somebody to help you, or you just gonna do it all yourself?
I'm gonna hire someone to help me, but first I need to know what I want help with most. Is it content creation or is it distribution? And if it's content creation, okay, well, here's what I am and here's what I like.
Yeah.
And I can just distribute the shit. But I feel like it's gonna be the reverse, where like, here's what I've made. Like,
get it out there.
This is the first time I've had a trailer for anything, for any one of my episodes.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. But I was so busy just trying to make the shit to prove people I was doing it and that I can do it. And once that idea is complete, I'm like, I ain't got to prove nothing no more.
Because the portfolio is there. It's up to you to open the book.
Yep. So then I'm focusing on that, just building that before I work on my season 2. And then actually doing good on my actors and making a Patreon. My idea that I'm testing out also kind of right now is taking children's books people just like in general, and for a healthy donation, because of copyrights and everything else, we can do exactly what I did for my play for you, right? And just like do a whole audio production on whatever book you choose. A fucking cereal box if you wanted. You have your choice to choose from. Like, what do you want this to sound like? Again, why I want a full body of work. Do you want this like a family memorabilia where like we interview your grandparents and you keep this, interspliced with like their favorite book, like which you'll see in the Secret Garden? Or do you want like something that sounds like a radio show, which is Miss Nelson, the one that you're gonna listen to with all the control advice? Do you want a playlist, right, of just advice?
Yeah,
I could put together. Do you want just the skits in sketch comedy? Because we have your flavors you could pick from.
Yeah.
What do you want? And we'll do it for a fee. And then like, okay, whoever worked on this, let's turn it into a booking thing. Actor, you're going to be this, who has the availability. Like, then I turn into an agent.
So, no, then you turn to a production company.
I turn into a full production company.
Because everything you've been piecing together, guess what? It's all a whole thing now. It's not all connected.
Yeah.
It's connected by your episodes, but it's not connected by all of them being harmonious, knowing that this is now our end game.
Yeah.
Is Sai Productions or whatever it is. You
know?
know?
Help me with the name.
We will. I mean, now that I think I decompressed enough where even though I have time to play games on my phone when I lay down now, that's typically when I audio message you is if I instead of playing the game, I'd be like, let me see what Amy's up to, and that's when we start exchanging ideas. I mean, now that I have time to do that, instead of just sitting in that recliner high as hell, fighting sleep so that I could murder the next Viking that betrayed the country.
Yep.
I just,
I need to get back that time too. That's another goal. No. And then you'll have more brain power to do this, And so then for like me and my actors just trying to figure out how to make money for them. In the meantime, I'm like how we barter. All right, well, look, y'all help me out, all the time with your stuff. And I ain't making you get everybody. Not one has had a professional mic. Not really.
Yeah.
I'm the only one with the Blue Yeti.
Wow.
Like the rest is just from their phones, and I make this shit sound good.
Yeah.
One recorded on a fucking iPad.
Well, that's what I remember when you said, you don't even know what you're getting from them, and they have to record dead air in the space they're going to record in. I was like, that's why he's good with project management. He's thinking of everything that it takes to get the outcome that's wanted.
Yeah.
Who cares how you do it? I need 100,000 in sales next month.
Yep.
So you do it.
Yep.
I don't want the journey.
Yep. Just in that clip, the male voice you heard, iPhone. The female voice you heard, iPad.
Ooh.
They have shittier mics.
Well, yeah, because it's just a tablet to look at something like a newspaper. That's basically what the iPad was for, was the digital newspaper, basically.
And I got to use that audio.
Oh, God, crap.
Exactly. So, yeah. So that's my goal.
So what do you think 2021 is going to bring us? I mean,
my production company in full and some kind of coin coming from it.
Yeah, we all need coin.
Right? So that
Phrase?
I can do that part-time, and then part-time just either working with Amazon, some corporate thing to just give me money.
You know, and I felt, and my little last shameless guilty thing is that I just felt guilty I wasn't paying Trace. I always do. Every time I ask him about something. Because I can't pay this guy. And it's like, that's why I do the Patreon. But then I don't know what to put on Patreon. Then I don't know how to promote it. You know, I try to do so much, and then I give up on it. And then I'm guilty that I gave up on it because the things that I haven't given up on.
You're rushing it. Just take time.
Exactly. So the main part that got rid of that guilt was stop looking at the stats.
Yeah.
Because the stats
looking at
started
that reminder.
that. Yeah.
Stop looking at your reminder that you know that you're going to get,
I didn't expect to be at the following that I'm at now. And it took a while. So let's just see where it goes if it accelerated so fast in a short period of time. Yeah. So I know it's going to go somewhere. It's just when the fuck will I get there?
Go us.
I'm going to leave it alone, though.
Right? Let's check in with each other in the next 18 weeks.
Yeah.
And
shit.
see what happens.
Fucking right. So, Simon, you want to tell anybody anything before you go?
Go
to buildabetterally.com.
Yes, buildabetterally.com.
To get some self-motivation, some emotional healing,
right?
And to learn about how to be a better fucking person.
As the build, yes, basically.
We need a hashtag for this. Is it going to be
Baba? B-A-B-A.
Baba?
Build a better ally.
Build a better ally. Well, we need like a 2 words.
Oh, 2 words.
Could we just do allied podcasts or something like that, or
better yourself?
Something
comes to mind
but
first.
Something specifically for the podcast community that they would find, so that we can get the people in the podcast world to be in on working with each other instead of just asking for each other to like each other's page. You know, where they're actually giving some support to each other. You know, kind of like I want to start doing the thing for podcasts that I wanted to do for detailers, but now I've given up on trying to ally the detailers because they're all shitty people around here. Now it's kind of like nobody's doing podcasts around here really, but we could probably make some allies nationwide, you know?
Right, we were talking about that. Alliance and unified. Yeah.
You know?
Full circle.
So we got to think about that too, you know? Look forward to that, people, because obviously when we put our brains together, here we are, 8 months later with shit popping.
Yeah.
You know? It ain't no millions of numbers, but I tell you what, it was better than 0 where we're at.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So everybody, you know Simon, he's been on here 2 times.
Yes,
he's
and there will be a third.
There'll be a third. I mean, he's a good friend, and we're doing the same thing and shit as we grow. You never know. Fuck. You never know what we're going to have to talk about next time.
Right.
I mean, we're episode 11, so maybe maybe we'll try it for 20 or 25 or something like that.
In time. We won't force it. Until then, you may see me on random episodes too. So, got to watch the whole thing. Because I be popping up.
Yes, you do. And with that, goodbye, everybody.